I got nothing to crack open because I have a glass. Should I just tink the glass?
Yeah, there you go.
Ding.
Yeah, and then you can make a speech, like at a wedding. Hold on, where's my Peter Gross? Here he is.
Just toast. I'm gonna think about it some.
FOTMs, do you know what time it is? It's toast time. Toast, featuring Stu Stone, Cam Gordon, and Toronto Mike.
Son of a bitch.
Never gets old. I love it.
Yeah, just toast.
What up, Mike? Toronto.
Have a little bit more of my cans. Please.
Check one.
There we go. Thank you. I've been DJing. My hearing's screwed.
Pardon me, Sonny.
What?
Welcome to episode 1534 of Toronto Mic'd. Proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery who believes in supporting communities. I get stuck on that word brewery. I've been getting stuck on brewery for a decade now.
And yet they stay with you.
And I have a special Great Lakes beer for Rob Preuss, so stay tuned for a full review of this special beer I got for him. But they support good times and brewing amazing beer. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. Like free, like you can order and it just shows up at your door for free in the GTA. It's wild. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. The Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team, the best baseball in the city outside the dome, with 8 championships since 1967. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home, pillars of the community since 1921. Today, returning for this 31st episode of Toast, is Rob Preuss.
Woo!
And
Woo!
Bob Willette.
Woo!
Welcome back, Rob and Bob.
Nice to see you.
How are you, sir?
Good. Now, I want to get a full update on, I'm sure we're on day, 15 or 20 of Bob's poker dealing career. I want the full update in a moment.
Sure.
But, Rob, I have the glass of beer in front of you. So, and it's not called a glass. Bob, help me. What's that? Is that a Stein? What are we...
That's not a Stein. That's too small for a Stein.
No, that's not a Stein.
What is that called?
That's a glass.
That's a pint glass. It's not even a full pint, actually.
No. Geez.
No. Because a pint is 500 milliliters approximately.
It's almost a full
this
can.
This is 475, I bet, or
Okay.
470 something.
So, Rob, have a sip. So, obviously, Bob and I will crack open our cans, but I poured yours in a glass just now.
And he's not telling you what it is.
Well, I'm going to tell you what it is because I thought of you.
You thought of me?
Yeah.
Really?
It's nice.
I think of you, Rob Preuss, as a man of German heritage.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes,
And you've
that is
spoke
true.
often. So, remind me, is your mother German?
No, my mom is not. My dad is German, was German. I still have relatives there who live in Munich, Germany. My dad was from Berlin originally, and the German heritage was large in our house growing up. That's what I hear. There's good photos of me with lederhosen when I was like 3.
Oh, nice. Is Munich in Bavaria?
It is.
Yeah.
South, yep.
Have you ever been to the Bavarian? There's like a beer place in...
Oh, the Hofbrauhaus.
Hofbrauhaus.
Yes.
Have you been to Hofbrauhaus?
Oh my God. My parents lived there for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
In the 90s, they moved back there. So they sold our house in Burlington.
I know my audience.
I've been to Hofbrauhaus in Vegas. It's amazing.
No way.
Yes.
Okay, so in the Bavarian tradition, this beer you have in front of you is Great Lakes Brewery's Weissbier.
Ooh.
Am I saying that right? It's vessel conditioned to provide natural carbonation.
Okay.
It's a German-style wheat ale.
Yeah.
So I wanted you to have a sip, and if a gentleman of yours, like yourself, of German heritage, this is like their German beer at Great Lakes.
Okay.
And
Cool.
I want to know what you think.
Weiss beer is very famous in Germany. Weiss means
Yes.
white in German. So it's the lighter beer, which I can tell by looking at
Hogarden was one of the more famous ones that started
Exactly.
off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
have you had a sip yet? I just want to know.
There we go.
And then Bob, you got your.
I've got mine ready to go.
Okay,
Can
you
I?
go.
Right.
And okay, so
Have a
3,
sip.
You guys, yeah,
2,
go.
1.
Okay. I'm clinking
So
it.
cheers to you, gentlemen. Good to see you.
Cheers.
Prost.
Next time we
I'm
gather,
frozen.
it'll be
So much.
post Labor Day. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't that like kind of?
I can't believe summer went
the
so
summer's
fast.
ending.
Yeah. So what do you think? Oh.
Okay, that's
Das,
a big.
das ist sehr,
How is that?
Das ist sehr gut. Das ist Weißbier. Das ist.
Okay.
Mm.
German style wheat
ich liebe.
Do you taste any banana in there?
Did you put a banana in this beer? Did you spike
Because, okay, here's the
Banana
A
liqueur.
vigorous pour produces a pillowy white head
Yes.
atop a hazy golden body.
I saw
Aroma
that.
is big banana accompanied by clove and bubblegum sweetness. A soft, creamy, and slightly effervescent tang mouthful gives way to ripe banana and more clove. And this
Hefeweizen, yeah.
finish is dry and refreshing.
Yep. It is dry and refreshing. I don't know about the banana and the bubble gum and all that.
You
jazz.
haven't-
Give it a
There's
good,
no
give it a good
banana yet.
whiff, though.
Yeah,
You haven't
there
really
should be
smelled
banana.
it. Give it a good whiff.
I just go right
you
to
don't.
the
Yeah,
drink.
you just go right. Yeah, because you
just
get
dive
it
right
on the nose, on the palate, the nose, then the palate.
Funny, as soon as you said the word banana as I was taking a sip, though,
Yep.
my mind, your mind
Yeah.
plays tricks. And I'm like, oh my God, there's banana flavor in there.
That's right.
Okay, enjoy responsibly.
It's beautiful,
Now,
yeah.
Bob Willette, last time we spoke,
Yes.
you were, I think you were still in training
I
mode
was, yes.
to deal poker.
That's right.
So I need to know, how is that going for you, buddy?
Well, I if you listen to Bob's Basement podcast, you've got a quick update that I lasted a grand total of 4 nights. It was an interesting ordeal. No deal. That's funny.
Deal.
Yeah. So So I'll be upfront. It's only $17 an hour,
Yeah.
and I was assuming that tips, which is a big part of the casino culture, big part of gambling culture. I've been part of that before, thus the Bingo Bob. But the tips are pooled at the and then you don't get your tips until the end of the CNE. And I was told that it works out to an extra maybe $3 or $4 an hour, which. So what I saw while I was there, and I was making, the way it works is you deal for 40 minutes and you take a break for 20. You deal for 40, take a break for 20. There were times when I was dealing, and in 40 minutes, I would make $10 in tips. Because
You saw that.
I saw, and I had to, so I would put them in to the tip thing,
Yeah.
and but yet you look around the casino, and there are tons of people not working. That when you go to a casino, you see people; they're always standing there with their hands on the dealers standing, and so I was like, why are these? I'm busting my ass, and I'm at a really that being said, being in the high stakes poker room. Personality does not matter. They don't give a shit about just as long as you're good at what you do.
Sure.
Because these people, it's a minimum of $300 just to get into a game. Right. It starts at that. I was dealing games where it was $1,000 pot. Wow. It's very high. I was very nervous, to be honest.
Right.
By the second, so I did that for 2 nights. By the third night, I was a floor supervisor. I had said I'll. So basically, you're just, and I took to being a floor supervisor because what you're doing is you're getting people coming in, you're putting them at tables because there's different games. There's 5, 10, 1, 2. 30, 20, 40, all these different things. Yep. And by the third night I was doing that and I wasn't loving any of it. I was realizing that even if it was $17 plus an extra $5 an hour, that's still only $22 an hour. And they gave me straight overnights. So I was starting at either 7:30 or 8:30 at night and going to 4 or 6 in the morning. And by the fourth night I was on my way in and I couldn't get to my parking spot because there were so many events at the CNE. God. There was the beer fest. There was
I was there.
Yeah.
Cypress Hill.
Yeah, that's right. There was a beer fest. There was a concert. There was an Argo game. I couldn't get in.
Yeah.
Right.
So I drove through Liberty, trying to find a spot just to stayed in my car. I was in my car for like 90 minutes trying to find. I just, you know what? I'm done. And
fuck that shit.
And yeah, fuck that shit.
So I listened to Bob's Basement, so I actually heard that. So
you heard pretty much what I just said.
My tongue was in my cheek when I'm like, "How's that going?" I knew it happened.
No, I know.
But you finished the 4th shift.
No. I did 3 shifts. That's it.
Oh, so before your 4th shift,
it was. I had called to say it's 10 after 8. My shift starts at 8:30. It's 10 after 8. I'm on the lakeshore. Wow. They're not letting me into the CNE. Jesus. I'm gonna have to go around, get back on the Gardner, come back around through Spadina, and they said, yeah, we're getting a lot of that today. I'm like, okay, cool. So I do that, and then by 9 o'clock, I'm still in Liberty Village trying to find a place to park so I can walk underneath. By 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. at night, and I had worked until 6 in the morning the day before. I got home at 6 in the morning.
I have questions, and Rob, if you have questions, we're gonna gently grill because
No, please.
I'm just getting worn out listening to it.
All right, so
I can't imagine.
Do you think you would have hung around longer, maybe, if you got a few more attaboy Bobby, like you're doing a great job?
Yes, I have said that right from the beginning. I have learned about myself and when I am in a leadership role, nothing works better than reminding people that you're happy they're doing their job. Yes, even just there's 3 types of recognition, right? There's everyday recognition. Thanks for doing your job, which is nobody ever does. And then there's above and beyond. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that extra mile. And then there's also term, like how long. There's a great book called The Carrot Principle, which I have read, and I am a leader, that is one of the main things that I use as my leading principles, which is the recognition. You have to let people know they're doing well, and I was never once told I was doing well in this job. You're just a number there. And look, hey, they got their system. Yeah, they got their system. You're only there for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is, and they don't care. They overhire because they know people aren't going to cut it, and I didn't cut it but I also was never told I was good at anything, and I need that. I am needy as fuck. I get it. I admit it fully.
Also, if I may, because I think we're wired similarly, is it possible you feel like you are better than that? Like you are better than being a number, a commodity. You're not just human resources. You're not just a body that's like a soldier or whatever.
Yeah, on one of my next podcast that I did with this life coach, career coach guy, the Steve Gazzard guy that I'm working with, he asked me what did I learn from that. I said I learned I don't want to work for 17. Because you learned your value, and there's your I know what my value is, but you're right. I think you're like, I don't want, this is one of the things that I'm dealing with right now. Right. I don't want a regular job. Yeah. I don't want to be, I want a job, and I don't know if this is ego, but I want a job where people go, oh, cool. When you tell them what you do.
Like a roadie.
Yeah, even that would be cool. Yeah, for sure. Yes, I'm a roadie. Oh, cool. I can't see myself. Now, again, the world may dictate I have to go and work and be in a cubicle in an insurance company or something, or at the LCBO, which is all fine. Those are all fine jobs. Yeah. I've just been fortunate enough to not have a job like that in a very long time. I did when I was a teenager and in my early 20s, but I don't now. I haven't, and I can't see myself going back to that.
Well, you don't have to see yourself going back to that. You're in a transitional time, and I think that the world is calling to you to find something greater.
Well, thank you. That's very nice.
That's the positive way that we should all be looking at our lives.
No, absolutely.
There are guys who will show up at the casino and do the job, and that's literally, they live for that.
Yeah, and they love it, and it's great. Good for them.
But for you, it's a different thing, and it's good. I mean, it's a difficult thing. We all go through these moments where you're like, the human struggle is to say, what am I meant to be doing here?
It's very limbo-like right now, and it's not the fun dance more.
No. But we all live in limbo. I've been listening to this book it's a Carl Jung analyst named James Hollis, and he's sort of talking about life and like reasons for doing the things we do in life and finding the things you do. Yeah. And there's a quote from Jung that said, I'm going to badly paraphrase it. He said something like, life is a short pause between two eternities.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's like
just blip on the radar.
Yeah.
This message is resonating with the listenership at live.torontomike.com. So J-Ho says, I'm in the same boat as Bob right now. I don't want a normal job again.
Yeah.
I hear that.
It's an interesting time now. I'm supplementing right now. My non-normal job now is I've gone back to DJing in the clubs and in bars and different things. So I'm lucky enough that I have that skill set that I can do it. But the funny thing is, they're paying people less than what I was getting paid 20 years ago to DJ. Wow. Like way less. I think because it's not an investment anymore. You just need a computer, right? Yeah. Whereas when I started, you needed to buy all this music, and people just obtain music now. But it is funny because every kid who's got a laptop thinks they're a computer. So the value's gone down. Right. So it's very interesting.
Yeah. So if I'm reading between the lines, like you might do like a shitty job if the money is good, but if the money is shit, you're only doing it if you love doing it.
I did the money is shit for 25 years. So yeah, like in radio, the money was never great in radio. I did it because I loved it and because I was good at it. Yeah. And because I think the people who I worked for liked what I did too. I mean, look, if somebody comes along with a great job that's punching numbers or some, I don't know. I failed grade 10 math, so that's
like
probably
order entry.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Do they even have that anymore?
Yeah,
I
but
don't
it's
know.
still $17 an hour. Or what is minimum wage? Great. Actually, what is minimum
15.
Wage? So yeah, it might be $15 an hour for order entry.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. I mean, my ego right now is telling me that I don't want to go do just any Joe job. Yeah. But at a certain point, when the old pogey runs out, or then I'm gonna have to get my shit together and do what needs to be done to take care of my family.
And you mentioned having a life coach, career coach.
I do, yeah.
How does he define what he is?
So he's more of a career guy.
Wait, you haven't heard this episode of Bob's Basement?
The career coach?
You don't listen to Bob's Basement?
No, you know what? Actually, I did listen to that, but I didn't. I forgot to put those two together.
Yeah, okay. Steve Gazzard's his name. Okay. Yeah, Impactive Learning is his company, and I've been lucky enough to have him come into my life. Yeah, he's really good. I feel great after talking to him.
Do you talk to him often? I mean,
I've talked to him basically like since this has all happened. I think I've talked to him twice. Okay, and now, but he's been very kind to say let's do this more often. Yeah. So I'm going to make it a little bit more regular. He's given me some great exercises to try to help me kind of figure out what's next.
Yep.
Okay, keep us posted, Bob.
Yeah,
We're all rooting for you.
Sorry,
one
it's all
question
about
I had,
me
as a
for-
guy who worked at the CNE as a teenager for 3 years, I didn't even know. So they opened the poker.
Yeah, the
before
casino.
the CNE.
CNE opened. Well, I don't know if they did then. The
CNE's not open yet.
The casino. What you say as a teenager? So the casino didn't open until 91. So it might not have been open yet.
Oh, I was there 80. No, I was there 89, 90, and 91.
So you would have been there the first time it opened.
Okay,
I don't
I didn't
know
even
if
know
it. So this year I know they're talking about extending it after as well. So because they had
I
asked,
was too young to get in there.
Oh yeah, no, you wouldn't have been allowed.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
So it's in the Better Living Center, and look, it's a place. If you like to gamble, the tables there, like they don't have slots or anything, but the tables you can get affordable tables there because that's one of the complaints. If you go to one of the bigger casinos, it's $25 a hand. Wow. You can get $10 hands at the casino at CNE.
Did you recognize any high rollers? Like somebody like, oh my God, it's
no. There is a group of people. They all know each other because I was playing. I was dealing at what's called the Omaha table. So that's a version. There's two versions. There's Texas Hold'em and then there's Omaha. And Omaha is a higher stakes. Like you can't like the blinds, if you know the game, are 20 and 40. It's a huge, like you start with $20 and $40 and the game is much higher impact. So I didn't recognize anybody, although by the third night I recognized everybody because it was the same people.
Right. Jeez.
Oh my God, imagine doing that all summer. Okay.
I worked at the CNE.
What did you do at the
when
CNE?
I was 16.
What'd you do?
Actually, 42 years ago tomorrow, we opened for the police.
Oh.
42 years ago, you opened for
I just remembered it was August 13th,
August
13th, 1982. So I worked for one afternoon.
Oh,
at CNE.
you talking about the police?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
played the fucking police. Okay.
Okay.
So before we catch up with Rob Preuss,
Yes.
and I want to let you know I threw out the first pitch.
Yes, I saw the
Congratulations
video.
on
last
that.
Sunday.
I watched the clip.
Even though my co-host Elvis didn't know what a wild pitch was. This was a weird moment because we're similar vintage, and he's a baseball fan. His son is a huge baseball fanatic, and he goes, "Oh, you threw a wild pitch." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because I threw off the mound, so my pitch was a bit low, so it bounced.
So it
right,
bounced?
Bounced, yeah, it bounced right in front of the catcher, but easy.
Bounce on the plate?
Just in front of the plate, maybe. And then Rob Butler, who was the catcher, a World Series champion,
Yes.
and an FOTM, who signed this ball that I
Nice.
threw. He caught it on one little
bounce.
bounce, right?
Okay.
It was a pretty good pitch, but it was low. It was definitely a ball. But that does not a wild pitch make. I had to explain to Elvis what a wild pitch was. He thought anything that wasn't caught, like if it bounces in front of the catcher and the catcher catches it, he was calling that a wild pitch, which is ridiculous.
It could have been. It wasn't. Does he know the difference between a wild pitch and a passed ball?
Well, the wild pitch and pass ball is just whose fault is it? Is
That's
it the
right.
pitcher's fault or the catcher's fault? Right. So a wild pitch is the pitcher's fault. Anyways, regardless, it was a little low, but it was a great experience. And here's the ball. Yeah.
Thank you.
It was a good. I
Signed
enjoyed
by Rob,
the clip.
Rob, yeah. Everybody taking that video footage, and I had I said also Elvis's kid was there, and that boy's friend, and then I saw Tobias Vaughn showed up, and his son was there, and then I had a couple of my kids there, and every kid, I'm like, come with me to the mound, like you'll be.
Oh, you
my
wanted to
posse.
come?
that was so
So
cool.
this posse came.
I
To
love
the
that.
we all
great.
came to the mound.
It was
and,
really cool.
That was very fun to do, and then later, Polly, who is daughter of Ben Rayner, showed up, and everybody ran the bases. So it was a
fun.
great
Neat.
time. So family, and remember, no ticket required. So get your butt to Christie Pitt, support the team. They might not win their 9th championship since 1967. But they will improve next year, and they're competitive. They scored 22 runs recently in a game. They won last night. So support this great community team, Toronto Maple Leafs baseball. And Rob Preuss, you sent me a note saying, do I have any more books?
Yep.
Are you
Baseball books.
selling them? What's going on here, buddy?
No, but I wanted to pass it along because when I got the one, like we got them months ago, and I wanted to just pass it along to somebody else who might be interested in it. And so I put a little message on Facebook, and I got a lot of replies actually. And then I thought,
How many people replied to say, I would love that book?
there was like 4 or 5 people.
Okay, how many books here?
5 there.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay, so
5.
take those 5
Seriously, I can
books.
take all 5?
Keith Stein, CEO of Toronto Maple
Yeah.
Leafs Baseball, would want you, a
Yeah.
valued FOTM, to
Amazing.
be happy.
And I'm happy to pass them along to people who
Yeah.
will enjoy
You
them
should
as well.
sign them.
Mike should sign them.
There you go.
I'll sign them. I threw out a first pitch.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll get Rob Butler.
Did
Thank
either of
you.
you guys play hardball as kids?
Hardball? No.
I did. I
I
played
tried
hardball.
out.
I played
for,
2 years.
Yeah, I played 5.
Where did you play? East York?
Toronto Greenwood, which
Greenwood.
became Toronto Dundas and is now just East York. Yeah.
I played 2 years in a row when I was like 8 or 9.
Hardball. Okay,
Terrible.
I was more of a.
Tyke A and Tyke C, I think, or
Terrible.
something.
I was right field.
I was a good pitcher.
I
you were
hated-
right field.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you were that
I
bad.
was telling my wife. I was telling my wife the other day. I hated it so much.
You're Les Nessman.
Yeah, I stood on the right.
That's Les Nessman.
Really?
Right?
I stood on the right field and prayed that the ball would never come my way.
Do you remember Les Nessman? He would hear like his parents making him do violin lessons or something, and then he kind of closed his eyes and he puts up his glove and then the ball lands.
That's great.
Yeah,
I played for quite a while.
Did you?
Yeah,
Wow,
I loved it.
amazing.
I loved it. I think I broke a kid's ribs though pitching. It's
Wow.
it was. I wanted to show them the heat.
Wow.
Anyways.
Awesome.
Oh, here we go.
So we're going to introduce the topic now, and then we'll catch up along the way. Shout out to Palma Pasta. Again, I said this earlier, but the patriarch of the Palma Pasta family, Marsilio Petrucci, passed away at the age of 100.
Oh,
so
life well lived.
Life well lived. You know, shout out to Ridley Funeral Home. But 100 years, well done. I saw the Anthony Petrucci posted on social media. It was just bravo, Papa. So life well lived, but. No Marsilio, no Palma Pasta. So much love to Palma Pasta. Okay, so Bob, you did not choose to kick out this song.
No, because we were using it as an example whilst we were talking about it.
I saved it for you, actually.
Oh, well, I just thought, you know what? To be fair, if it was songs that we love, like I like this song. I don't love this song. It's a good song. It's on the, Pearl Jam's first album. I like it a lot, but I just thought, you know what? I'm wondering if the FOTMs and the people listening are like, okay, Bob, enough with the goddamn Pearl Jam.
Well, do they say that about our friend Rob Preuss and Elton John?
I don't know. Do you kick it? Oh, Queen. Right. That's true. And actually, today I usually try. I usually try to mix up my selections based on era. But two of mine are definitely from the same era today. I realize. So you know what? I like this song. It's not. I wouldn't put it even in my top 20 favorite Pearl Jam songs. Yeah, right. So probably why I wouldn't do it.
Weaker cut on 10.
I don't know. It's good. And here's the thing, because we were there are so many references to, we were talking about birds. We did bird jams, but there are more references to the ocean in Pearl Jam songs than I think anything else. If you look, there's like a word diagram. Mm-hmm. Eddie's a surfer, right? So he spent a lot of time in San Diego, and they tour Australia just so he can surf. Like, he loves surfing. So the ocean has such a huge influence on his writing. Cool. You can find every album. You could write an article on ocean references. That's really cool. on Pearl Jam. So, but we were talking specifically about specific. So we'll talk about it. We'll see how it goes. Yeah,
because I would interpret this as completely valid. This is a body of water. 100%.
It doesn't say the Atlantic Ocean, and it doesn't say the Pacific Ocean.
It's a song in the title. There's a body of water.
Yeah, fair enough.
Danger Bay's Ocean Hellman, by the way, early crush for me.
Yeah.
If Ocean Hellman is listening,
Ocean Hellman,
hit me up. Mike at TorontoMike.com.
Did you not have cable as a kid?
No. Well, at some point, Much Music and TSN showed up, but I don't remember what year that was.
It's 84, 85, kind of.
I feel like it might have been later for me, but okay. So Oceans, anyways, but there's another jam that popped in my head that none of us chose, but this one will take you back.
Down by the
yeah, for sure.
Where the watermelons grow.
It's a great one.
Back to my home. I dare not go.
I dare not go.
For if I do, my mother would say. Did you ever see a goose kissing a moose down by the bay? Down by the
So
have you had Rafi on?
No.
You should.
I loved Rafi.
He's very active on Twitter. You should talk to him. Oh, he'd be the best. Would you allow him to Zoom?
Yep.
Because he's out west.
No, Rafi can Zoom in.
Rafi wasn't really a part of my childhood. I had Sesame Street albums and Mini Pops, the originals and stuff. But my wife's family were huge Rafi, Baby Beluga, Banana Phone, all that stuff. So when we had kids, I got introduced. I'm like, this is great. I love
timeless.
all this stuff.
He's a timeless Canadian.
And I actually saw him at Roy Thompson Hall. He was amazing.
Wow.
If you listen to the episode where I kicked out the jams, you'll hear a Rafi song.
Yep.
Yeah.
Robin in the Rain.
Yep.
Big Rafi head here.
Rafi, there's a Sleepy Time collection of his stuff. It's so great.
Love it.
Yeah. Actually, I've kicked out a Rafi song on here.
Did.
That Sunflower.
That's right.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so now everybody knows this is the kind of thing we're doing. It's called Bodies of Water Jams, and as long as the title of this song references a body of water, I think we'll allow it, and we'll go through it and see if there's
that's
any
where we got, because I could have
selections.
gotten, to make sure it was in the title, that was, because otherwise I would have had Blue Rodeo out in the middle of Lake Ontario. What's the title of that one? Lost Together.
Lost Together.
I would have had that, but it's not messaged. But there is a line, that iconic line of Out in the Middle of Lake Ontario, which everybody sings when you see them in Ontario.
Hey, is there any chance, did we kick that out recently on Toast? It got kicked out on Toronto Mike. I feel like it was a Toast episode where we actually had the same
Lost
conversation.
Together?
Unless I'm having a deja vu moment.
I think it's possible, but I don't think it's recently.
I don't remember.
I don't recall.
All right, so you want to get to the jams, and then we'll catch up along the way here.
Yeah,
but Rob Preuss, you lead us off.
All
Any
right.
words before your first jam?
No.
You can't say no. Like hold on here. Like it's either yes or no, right? So if
This
you
was
say
act-
no, I'm gonna
okay,
start playing.
you're right. No, don't start
You can't
playing.
go no. I have something to say.
No, wait. This was probably the song that came into my head immediately. So I was sort of thinking, I'll try it and maybe everybody will pick it.
Came
but
to my head right away as
Did
well.
it?
Yes, it did. So
Thank you
let's
for-
kick this out, and then
okay.
we got some fun facts along the way here. It hasn't hit me yet. Not Lost Together.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Blue Rodeo fans.
Thank you, Andrew Ward.
Come with me, my love.
Not the Honey Drippers version.
To the sea
To be discussed.
of love.
TPD.
I want to tell you how much I love you. Do you remember when we met? That's the day.
And there was a movie called Sea of Love as well.
Pacino, right?
Pacino, yep. And Tom Waits did a weird version of the song in that film.
All right, so let me bring her down. Let's hear from Rob Preuss kicking out Sea of Love by Phil Phillips.
Phil Phillips, exactly. His real name was John Philip Baptiste. This was July 1959. This was on the chart.
Wow.
65 years ago.
How old were you back then?
I was 7. No. So this is like the early days of rock and roll, right? Like 1959. It was like when you go back and listen to music from that era, it's all magical. So, of course, in my mind, the version that I thought of was the Honey Drippers.
Yes.
Because we all knew the Honey Drippers. It was released 40 years ago. It was released on my birthday in 1984. Went to #1 in Canada.
Can I tell you a weird association I have with the Honey Drippers version of Sea
Yeah.
of Love?
Yep.
I have a weird association because of Much Music. The Honey Drippers the Wave Babies by Honeymoon
Yeah,
Suite came out around the same time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The videos are similar.
The videos are
I
so
know.
similar.
That's right.
I was like, Robert
Right.
Plant was in the spoon. was in Honeymoon
I know.
Suite.
Right.
I was only like a kid, but it's
He's
like
a guy. I know.
I have such an association with those two songs.
Yeah, and it's one of those songs.
Wave Babies and
That's funny. Sea of Love.
Yes.
You think of that video immediately. I see Robert
do.
Plant on the beach
Yes.
and all the
But then I
jazz.
also think of the Glenora Ferry.
That's funny.
That's wild. Now, do you, Rob Preuss, because I'm about to kick out your bonus jam,
Yes.
which will kind of lead to more, but do you have any more facts about the Honey Drippers?
The song? Not really.
No, but the Honey Drippers.
The Honey Drippers themselves?
Yeah, like, okay, so I actually...
what's the story with
well,
that?
Well,
Wait,
here,
let me
because
give-
my introduction...
But before you go to the Honey Drippers, can I give you a few more about Phil?
Yeah, of course.
So Phil got
It's
a
your
gold
fucking
record.
jam.
Okay, Phil got a gold record for this because it sold over 1 million copies. But for years afterwards, he complained that he only got $6,800
Wow.
for the whole
For the
thing.
whole thing.
For the whole thing.
Wow.
So those were the days. I mean, it's an endless story of musicians not making the
It
money
happens
they
today.
It's the same
Yeah.
old story.
It's never
You
not
know?
happened.
People make music. They contribute to the culture, and people will revere them and think of them forever. But financially, it's not always a guarantee, and it doesn't really matter. Wow. So, anyways, Honey Drippers, yeah.
Okay, so let's get into it.
So good. How this became a hit in this
Just this opening, though,
with
right?
that opening. I know.
This
When you
string.
what a weird pop time. It's so amazing. The 80s were so great for pop. The fact that
What
this
year
became
is
a hit.
this? 87?
84.
84?
Was that early? eh? Okay.
What did hardcore Led Zeppelin fans think of this?
They
Well, what
probably
about
loved
guys
it.
like me who know this song before we know Led Zeppelin?
Right.
Like, this is my introduction to
Yeah,
Robert
you know
Plant.
what? Me too, probably. Yeah.
For us who are a little bit older, it was like, wow, Robert Plant is doing this weird, cool, old-fashioned song.
Yeah, it's like-
and even for me, it was an
It's like,
introduction
he's
to
doing
music
like-
from the 50s.
It's like a standard, right? Like essentially, he might
Basically.
as well be New York.
So the story was that the president of Atlantic Records, Ahmet Erdogan, wanted to put this album together of songs that he loved from the 50s. Like,
Okay.
and so Robert Plant was like, he chose him as the lead singer for
Wow.
the band. But it was like a super group. Paul Schaefer was in the
I
band.
was going to say the band was like, it's not just like the band is a super
Jeff
group, right?
Beck.
Jeff Beck's
See,
in
this
the
is, what I
Honey
need to,
Drippers.
this is what I need to learn. Like,
Yeah.
I just know Robert Plant on vocals.
Yeah.
Okay? And my introduction to Robert Plant, which is similar to my introduction to David Johansen,
Yeah.
is Buster Poindexter.
Oh, yes.
So I don't even know New York Dolls.
Hot?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Buster Poindexter.
Yeah. So, like, I'm seeing videos of Buster Poindexter, and then I'm seeing this guy, and I'm like, oh, it's Buster Poindexter. I don't know what New York Dolls are. Like, literally, it's my introduction.
Yeah.
Robert Plant, before I know anything about Led Zeppelin, I know this song.
You knew this song. That's so cool.
So,
young Mike.
Who's in Honey Drippers?
Robert Plant. Jeff Beck was on the album. Jimmy Page played guitar on this song. My friend Nile Rodgers was on guitar. Paul Schaefer on piano. So it was like Paul Schaefer was the other real sort of like cultural connection because Letterman was so hot at the time, right? I think that
World's Most Dangerous Band.
I believe there's probably a Letterman episode where Robert came and sang this song as well. For sure. 84, 85 peak Letterman too, right?
Wow.
Because the next time I'm really into
Jimmy Page solo, I think.
Right here? I think so. So I remember listening to Q107's Top 10 at 10 when Long Cool One, what's it called?
Yep.
Was a hit. Like there was like a Top 10 at 10 hit. Surely McQueen would kick it out.
Yep.
And that's like my next Robert Plant. I don't even remember when I buy. At some point I buy Led Zeppelin 4 because of Stairway to Heaven.
I met Robert Plant at Much Music. And I got a photo taken with him.
Really?
And I've never seen the photo. I wish I had it. Yeah, I was there.
John Gallagher's got that photo.
I don't know who's got it. But I was there and with the guy from Warner Brothers, and they were like,
who from Warner Brothers?
Roger Desjardins was his name. Okay. And people were just taking photos. Like Robert was basically like there because everybody's like, oh my God, it's Robert Plant. Yeah. And I was coming in like to do a Spoons thing.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, hey, take a picture with Robert. And I was like, okay. But then I've never seen the picture.
That's crazy. And it was 84. Hey, wow.
Yeah. Early, it was like September 24th, 84, the album was released.
Okay.
And this,
they toured once. They had one tour.
Really?
This is what
Holy shit.
They had one tour.
Wow.
I don't know
they
who
should get back together.
It was 84 into 85 when this was on the charts and stuff. But beautiful.
Yeah.
But so we all think of that song. Like when I think of Sea of Love, that's why I wanted to dig back to the original because I thought that's super cool to know that the song was now 65 years old.
And how many people can tell you the name of the singer that originally sang Sea of Love? Like Phil Phillips?
I wouldn't have been able to know.
And what's the name of that guy on American Idol?
Philip Phillips.
Right. He sang Home.
Yeah.
Which sounds like Mumford and Sons.
Or Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. There's I don't know if you know that.
Oh yeah.
Them as well.
Yeah.
I don't know them as well, but I know that when I would hear that song at first, I thought it was Mumford and Sons. And then I found it's Philip.
Very similar.
Very similar names going on here. Now, next week, my wife has a birthday. And when we got married 11 years ago, this song was part of our wedding. Like it was part of the wedding. Do you want to hear this?
Yep.
Come with me, my love.
11 years ago?
To the sea.
Yes.
It's ahead of the curve because everything sounds like this right now. It's true. Breathy girl singing.
It's Billie Eilish's fault, I think.
No, I think it started with Lord, but yeah, I think you're right. I'll tell you something about DJing. A couple weeks in a row here.
Okay, then I want to say something about the closing ceremonies at Paris. But okay, so this song, do either of you know the artist?
No, but it's beautiful.
Cat Power.
Oh yes.
Okay.
So this was part of our wedding, was Cat Power's cover of Sea of Love.
That's very nice.
And speaking of Billie Eilish, she was part of these closing ceremonies yesterday. Did either of you two watch the closing ceremonies of the Olympics?
No.
Not yet.
No?
I'm going to, but I did
watched
not
the
see
highlights.
It. Yeah, I didn't see any of it yet.
Okay, so you
I watched a lot of Olympics, but I didn't watch the closing ceremonies.
There's like a moment where Tom Cruise does this thing, and then he shows up in LA. So he gets on he's on a motorcycle and he gets on like a helicopter or something, one of those big army ones or whatever. And he ends up in LA and he goes to the Hollywood sign, and then you got Red Hot Chili Peppers are playing.
Wow.
And they didn't not under the bridge though. And then they're
and they didn't do Californication. They didn't do anything with California in the title.
They don't want fornication in there. You know what fornication means? Okay, but Billie Eilish is there.
Do you know where people fuck the most? The Olympic Village.
That's true. I'm gonna tell. I need to know the stats. How many condoms were used?
That's right. Yeah.
During these Olympic Games.
That's right.
Holy! Imagine being in Paris and being young and fit
and in great shape, and you just want. Even if you didn't win a medal, I finished 4th. I don't care. Let's have sex.
Like how many athletes break up with their significant other like the week before the Olympics?
Yeah.
Just like no, we'll get back
I've
together
been with
in
you.
3
Yeah,
weeks.
exactly. We're on a break.
All right, so where was it going? Oh, yeah, so Billie Eilish performs at these closing ceremonies. Snoop Dogg is there. Dr. Dre comes out. It was very L.A., and in 4 years, we'll see what L.A. does with the opening ceremony.
I guess it was leading. I was just thinking that I saw somebody's comment this morning that they felt like there wasn't enough French music represented for the closing.
Because they were saying goodbye.
But that's exactly right.
Yeah,
they're
passing
leading
it on.
towards California.
No, but the baton was...
Yeah.
Because we won the 4x100 meter relay.
Yeah.
The baton was passed with Tom Cruise. Like once Tom shows up, it's LA
torch
the rest
goes.
of the way
Yeah,
home.
exactly.
Right? This
The
is no
torch.
longer about Paris.
Exactly.
It's about Los Angeles.
Right.
So,
What
and
about that breakdancing competition?
breaking.
Oh,
I watched it. Yeah. Phil
That
Wizard.
woman, I hope that woman was in on the joke.
Ray Gun.
Oh, was that
No,
her
I
name?
don't think I don't know how she
Was
got
that
on the
Australian?
team or anything, but I was never like, she's not like, I could find you better breaking.
No, it's cringy because I hope she was in on it. Like I have such empathy. Yeah, I can't even
mean
watch
like the
it.
guy,
I can't watch it. I see it. I'm like, no, fuck that.
see.
I feel bad enough about my own life. I don't need to watch you ruin yours.
I don't think it's bad enough to be a joke. Like Phil Hung, is that his name?
Yeah.
Well, no, Phil
Yeah,
Hung.
of course, from
Something
American
Hung.
Idol.
Yeah.
Something Hung.
She bangs. Yeah.
What was his first name?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Andrew.
Something Hung.
Andrew.
Andrew. Oh, why do I think I gotta Google this guy's
Doesn't
name?
matter.
Yeah.
But
It doesn't
this
matter.
guy
Nobody
was
cares.
so bad it was good.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't think Ray Gun was bad enough to.
That's
be
my
good.
point.
It was
Yeah.
just weak.
Right.
But that's my point. Like, so then I just feel fucking horrible for her.
Yeah. Because if you don't feel the sense of humor in it, then it becomes just awkward.
This is what like that's like there. I just can't. Anyways, and you know what? Here's the thing. I don't mind breakdancing being in the Olympics. I mean, if you can have ice dancing and you can have
William Hung.
Hung, there you go.
Moose Grumpy bailed me out.
There you go. Hey, I have no problem with breakdancing being in there because if you can have other judged sports like where they throw the ball in the air or they friggin' take the big ribbon and stuff. If those are sports as well, fine. Breakdancing can be as well. I just that particular display from the Australian was just.
Hey, on the live stream, they're saying we're talking over the music too much, but are
we
they
only
new to
played
Toast?
one. Yeah, hello. You want to hear more of the song? Or you want to hear more of us?
Andrew Ward says, "Can we not talk through the music till an appropriate time?"
Wow,
So
Andrew
I actually
Ward,
never
Jesus.
considered people were here for the music.
Will you replay
We do
one?
normally wait, but we all know what
It's
we're.
true. But will you replay one thing for me?
What is it?
From the bonus jam, just the opening of Honey Drippers.
Oh.
Just listen to those freaking strings. And I think the whole thing for me is that
Are they real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in 1984, this sound to me reminds me of Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and it reminds me of like all these 80s elements produced by Trevor Horn in England. It's like this weird, like magical string thing, but then that comes into the song, but it's just. Come on now. What's that all about? Like, I think that was the thing that blew my mind when I was 19, when you first heard that on the radio. I was like, what's coming?
Well, you're the musician. What am I hearing there?
It's just a string orchestra. I honestly just think it's such a beautiful idea to just put that in there. But that's Ahmet Ertegun, who produced the album as well, president of Atlantic Records. His history with pop music from the 1950s onward that's the kind of orchestrations and things that he always wanted to have in his music.
It reminds me very much about Bobby Darin.
Yeah,
Bobby
it's that era.
Darin. Yeah. There's a couple that come up. Obviously, there. He's got a bunch of music that's water related. Splish Splash was his. But what's Mac the Knife?
It's just that era. It
Under the
evokes
Sea?
that.
Is that him? Under the Sea?
No, no.
That's a sea song, ocean song.
Yeah, he has. He does.
Beyond the Sea.
Beyond the Sea.
Right,
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Under the Sea was Little Mermaid.
Yes. Which, by the way, we could have done too. That's a great song.
totally could have
Actually,
done that.
that's a great song.
I know.
Well, Beyond the Sea would have been appropriate and a big jam for the Bodies of Water
Yes,
jam.
it could have. And Under the Sea for sure.
Okay, so do you guys think we need to play more music before we start yakking over it?
Well, let's
We'll
see
see
what
how
happens
the
with Bob.
next one goes. Yeah.
Who's the producer around here? Okay.
That's your show.
We're just excited about it all. It's the water. It's got us going.
It's that German beer you're having.
It's the Weiss beer talking.
All right, so we're going to bring down these jams and we're going to let Bob Willette kick out his first Body of Water jam. Any words to say before I press play?
This is the oldest one on my list today.
You can hear the water.
Yes.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes. watching the ships roll in, and then I watch them roll away again. Yeah, I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay, 'cause I've had nothing to live for, and look like nothing's gonna come my way. So I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Looks like nothing's gonna change.
Come on.
Everything still remains the same. I can't do what 10 people tell me to do, so I guess I'll remain the same. Listen, sitting here.
Well, there you go. Come on. The
now.
Bay? The Bay?
Sitting
San
by
Francisco Bay?
No, fantastic choice, a great song, and I kicked this out once we did posthumous releases.
Oh, yeah.
And this was my favorite posthumous release.
So, story goes that he was actually like borrowing. What's the guy's name? He was a big concert promoter. He had a houseboat in Sausalito. And what was the guy's name? He was like a big. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He was boring. He was living on a houseboat, and he wrote this song. And it was Bill Graham was his name. Bill Graham.
Yep.
And he had just played Monterey Pop Festival.
Oh, yeah,
and he wrote this, and I mean, my kid learned this early, young. Like she sang sitting by the dock of the bay at her elementary school.
Amazing.
In choir, and she can actually play it a little bit on guitar.
Have you ever seen the clip of Otis? It's actually exists on its own, called Otis at Monterey.
No.
Oh my God!
No,
It's one of the most astounding performances you've ever seen. I mean, there's a whole film of the concert, anyways.
Yeah.
But his particularly is so good.
So he this ended up like he was working with Stax, all the Stax people, and yeah, I mean, like, what else can you? If I think about, you want me to think about music, like music that has to do with water. This was probably one of the first ones that came to my mind.
Yeah,
it was like
amazing.
Sitting by the dock of the bay. It's just one of those. Like, I don't know anybody who does not like that song.
I know.
It's a universally liked song.
Yeah.
You can be indifferent to it, but I don't think anybody can hate that song.
You can't even barely be indifferent.
I
to
know.
it.
I don't think you can hate that song.
Yeah. Was that 67?
Yep, 67. Yeah, it was recorded twice.
Wow.
But and one was just 3 days before his death. Yeah.
And that's the version we hear there.
Yes,
Wow.
that's the one. And then actually so this guy, Steve Cropper, who guitar player, played guitar on this. He also helped produce it.
Wow.
He put in the water and the seagull sounds.
Isn't he also in the Blues Brothers?
Well, here's
Play it, Steve.
So so he is in the Blues Brothers. He's also, here's my mind blow. This Steve Cropper guy should have, I mean, I know there's been like documentaries about the Stax players.
Yeah.
Steve Cropper's insane. Like, so he also co-wrote this one. This is my mind blow. Booker T and the MG.
Seriously?
Yes, he co-wrote this.
Because these are all session musicians.
These are all session guys, and this guy was like, so he played with Otis Redding, Wilson Pickett. Oh, we'll listen to this a little bit. I don't want to get yelled at by the people on the.
But there's no words.
There's no words
like
on this. That's true.
This one.
And
don't worry about them. I'm the boss around here, Bobby.
He's been nominated for Grammy 7 times. He's won 2. He's produced and written for Booker T and the MGs, Otis Redding, Wilson Pickett, Sam and Dave, Rufus Thomas, Johnny Taylor, and yes, he's in the Blues Brothers as well. So like one of those unsung guys, unless you're a music person, unless you're a musician, you know, and you've watched. I know there's the documentary about the Stax people, but man, oh man, the fact that this guy wrote this,
amazing,
co-wrote this, and Dock of the Bay, insane,
so great.
And if my memory's correct, this is just session musicians noodling around, and they like
Booker T and the MGs.
Booker T. But that name comes later. Like they need a name now because they've got a single. Like, but this is just session musicians who are noodling, and then
And Booker T, I believe, also played the amazing organ solo in Michael Jackson's song "Bad." There's an organ solo. I don't know if you remember it, but right in the middle of it, there's like this like old organ that comes out of nowhere, and I think that's what that is as well.
I hear you have an old organ.
Preuss. Yeah. It's just crazy. He's worked with Jimmy Buffett.
Amazing.
Like, he worked with Chicago. Like, David Clayton Thomas. Yeah, just one of those guys that you never know anything about them, and then you find out.
This is why when we're kids and you had records and you would read the credits. Like for me, right? Look at like playing piano and like learning about bands and all this stuff, and I would pour over the credits and then you recognize the names.
Yep.
Hey, we're going to hear some great songs today, but we might not hear a song as good as Dock of the Bay. That's a great song.
It might be, like I said, I don't know a more... I think Bob Marley is universally loved as an artist, but I think Sitting by the Dock of the Bay, I don't know anybody who, when you hear that, was like, oh, God, I hate this song. I've never heard anybody ever say that.
And we could have kicked it out as a bird jam because you hear seagulls in that song.
Yes, that's just like why I did Cherish by Cool
I hear this. Yes, absolutely.
That's
okay,
right.
it's a seagull jam. Okay. Well done. And again, I can't think of, there's some great posthumous jams out there, but there's no better posthumous jam than Dock of the Bay.
This dude played on Rock and Roll with John Lennon.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's amazing. His list of people he's worked with.
I love
is
those kind of
insane.
things. Like,
John Prine.
Yeah.
Like, just crazy. He's just a guy, you know.
Just a guy.
Where does the name Green Onions come from?
Well, there's onions that are green.
Yeah, have you never had a green onion, man? Come on.
I worked at a grocery store. I know my green onions. Okay, I'm going to let Booker T and the MGs take you right into my first jam. Ready? Did you guys hear that music journalist Charles Cross passed away?
I did not.
Like I got this news yesterday. He wrote a biography of Kurt Cobain called Heavier Than Heaven. Probably, of all the Kurt Cobain books I read, I think it was the best, but I know there's some good ones out there. But yeah, so just shout out to Ridley Funeral Home, that Charles Cross, who, if you haven't read Heavier Than Heaven, it's a pretty good Kurt Cobain biography. But I speak of that because this is Nirvana.
Yes.
Lake of Fire, which we all discovered when they played it during their MTV Unplugged appearance in November 1993. This is one of 3 songs that Kurt sang that day that was originally recorded by a band called the Meat Puppets. Did you know that, Bob Willette?
I didn't know this was a Meat Puppet song.
I did not either.
Nope.
I recognized the Nirvana version, but I didn't know.
Nope.
All right, I'm going to play some of the Meat Puppets original, tell you a little bit about that, and then get you back to Nirvana here.
Good guitar playing, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
She went to her grave a little too soon and flew away howling on the yellow moon. Where the bad folks go when they die, they don't go to heaven where the angels fly. They go to the lake of fire. I don't see them again until the 4th of July.
All right, so the singer you hear here is a different Kurt. This is Kurt with a C. Kurt Kirkwood, lead singer of the Meat Puppets. He wrote this song. He's singing on this song. He plays guitar on this song. This is from the second Meat Puppets album, Meat Puppets 2. Shout out to Led Zeppelin. That's how you name your albums. Okay. Came out in April 1984. So Kurt Cobain.
84?
That's amazing. Like it's so cool to hear this because I've always known the name Meat Puppets, but I've always avoided them because the name gives me the creeps a little bit.
No, it's a gross name.
But now after hearing this, I am going to be listening to this on my drive home tomorrow.
Ahead of their time
So
were the Meat
cool.
Puppets.
I just don't like the name.
This album, Meat Puppets 2, is the same album that has Plateau on it, which is covered by Nirvana.
Wow, that's super cool.
And Oh Me, so there are 3 songs. That
Did you know that 2 of the Meat Puppet guys were the backup players on the Unplugged?
No,
100%.
Yeah, Pat Smear was
Seriously?
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pat was in the Meat Puppets?
No, Pat Smear was there,
okay.
and these 2 other guys,
Okay.
which were Meat Puppet guys.
So
Didn't know
Kurt,
that.
that was the brothers.
Yeah,
Kurt
the brothers were
and
there.
Chris.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Kirkwood.
knew that.
Chris
I didn't know they were doing Meat
vocal.
Puppet songs.
That
I knew
is
they were
so
there.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I love
So
that.
more-
That 84. That's 84.
80, yeah.
Man, that's amazing.
Ahead of
1984.
its time.
That's wow. No Meat Puppets, no Nirvana. That's
Right.
all there is to
Yep,
it,
yep,
right? Like
yep.
there is no way.
I thought it was no Pixies, no Nirvana.
I agree. I do. No, both of those bands.
No
I think-
Cleveland?
Yeah.
No Cleveland. Oh yeah, he's setting me up here, and I'm in the wrong
Yeah.
wrong page over here. But on
Hit
that note, absolutely, where the hell are you?
No Cleveland, no Bowie.
I got to be
you.
quicker. I'm in the wrong
Ba-dum-bum.
page here. Multiple pages going on here. So I'm not done with the extra songs here. Okay, so I loved.
so cool.
I think we talk about this every other episode of Toast, but I loved the Live in New York Unplugged by
Yes.
Nirvana. Who didn't? I
Yep.
guess all Gen X liked it. I guess. So yeah, you got Lake of Fire. That song. That's why it's a body of water jam. Lake of Fire, and then you also had. Had this one, which I want to talk about.
My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, when did you sleep last night? In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. I would shiver the whole night through.
Okay, hit me with it, Kurt.
My girl, where will you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. I would shiver the whole night through.
I'll bring her back up in a moment. So this is the B-side to the single, Lake of Fire, is Where Did You Sleep Last Night, which is another cover that Kurt does during the MTV Unplugged. And this is the vocals. I mean, you'll hear it later when I turn it up, but just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Super cool. It's beautiful.
Super fucking cool.
Yep.
Okay, so where did Kurt Cobain learn this song? Well, and this gentleman did not write the song. He's not the original. This is like an old song from way back in the day, but Leadbelly kind of made this version famous. And Kurt Cobain heard Leadbelly, which I'll play in a moment, but I'm going to vamp a little bit because I wanted Kurt to really, like, I don't know when in the live, the MTV Unplugged he does this song, but you should hear what he does with his voice coming up here. So, all right, let's listen. Also, this song has many different names. So Kurt called it Where Did You Sleep Last Night? But one of the names for it I often see is In the Pines. And I think there was like a lot of debate and discussion whether this song really is called In the Pines, not Where Did You Sleep Last Night?
My girl, where will you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. I will shiver the whole night through. My girl, don't lie
Sorry.
Not
That's the blues right there.
Right. Amazing.
It's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're recording in November '93. The man is dead in April.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. Now we have a fun fact from the great FOTM Hall of Famer Mark Weisblatt from 1236.
Hey, Mark.
This is on the live stream. Mark has joined us a little late, but he comes armed and dangerous to tell us there was a song by the Meat Puppets called Backwater.
Backwater was the hit.
Yeah, that went to number 47 on the Hot 100,
Yeah.
and features, I think, background vocals from Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, that's the only hit they had.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Puppets of Meat.
Yes.
Puppets of Meat. But okay, so let's just do the Lead Belly, because no Lead Belly on there, then you don't get that song. Just a little Lead Belly. Where did you sleep last night?
My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night?
That's
Come
great.
on, tell
That's
me,
so
baby.
great.
That's great.
In the pond, where the sun don't ever shine. I was shivering all night too.
Okay, and before I pass the baton to the great Rob Preuss for his second jam, I will say that there is a version of this song, Mark Lang again from the Screaming Trees and Queens of the Stone Age, with Kurt on background vocals, which I'll bring down Lead Belly, the great Lead Belly, not to be confused with Pearl Jam's Ledbetter. Okay, Yellow Ledbetter. Here we go. Listen to this for a moment. This predates the Unplugged by Nirvana.
Oh, wow.
Is Matt Cameron on drums here? Is this
Cool.
I don't think so.
No, I'm just kidding.
Sounds like it.
Actually, sounds more like Jack Irons.
This is Mark Lanigan?
Yes. You can hear him in there.
Shit, that's so
Yep. Big time.
God, that's amazing.
Wow.
I love
That's
all
like
of
Bryan Adams showing up on a Glass Tiger song, okay? Or no, Mike. What is the guy?
It's like Michael McDonald showing up
No. Oh, which one are you gonna
on
go
Christopher
with?
Cross.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking of Michael Jackson showing up on
Somebody's watching me.
yes,
Yeah.
Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell.
Rockwell.
Yeah.
Whose dad was
Okay.
Barry Gordy Jr.
Right, and did you know the LMFAO party rocking in the
Yeah.
house tonight? One of their dads is Gordon.
Really?
Is Barry Gordon. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So there
Actually,
you go. A lot of Nepo babies. The,
Sexy,
the Nepo
yeah,
babies
no,
walk amongst us. So, okay. I'm passing the baton.
That is a super cool song, though. I want to. I want to hear
such a
more
good
of this.
song,
God, all the versions are just so neat. And anyways, they have nothing to do with Bodies of Water, but who cares?
No, this is actually...
it's a bit of a tangent.
You've gone on a tangent, but who cares?
I used Lake of Fire to get my ass
Yeah, I
where I
know.
wanted to go.
I
which
love
is,
it.
where
Good job,
did
Mike.
Where did you sleep last night?
It was
Rob
really
Preuss?
good.
Oh, I fucking love it. And I still love Unplugged in New York there.
Makes me
And
want to listen to even more of that. Like, I haven't listened to the whole thing in a long time, but I love the sound of all the tunings. All the guitars are tuned
that All
low.
Apologies, too, which
Yeah.
I like more than the In Utero version of All Apologies, is that All Apologies from the Unplugged.
Yeah.
And it's all like one take, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fucking...
It's just music.
It's actual
together.
live. Yeah.
But again, now I need to shout out quickly. The Alice in Chains Unplugged is that fucking amazing too.
Is it really?
Yeah,
it's
fucking
going. It's so
amazing.
funny actually. You say that because there's a Nutshell is going viral right now for some reason on like TikTok and at least in my algorithm.
Well, how's your TikTok going, bud?
Oh, it's horrible. I mean, it's fine. I'm just doing it. It's
Because
just
I'm not there. I need to learn when you come on.
Oh, you know, I can't teach you. I've done 3 of them, and I think you know what's interesting. You really see all the you see great statistics. Like you see how many people. There's no algorithm, right? Like, or there's no, or they don't throttle it back. It all depends on what you get. I've had like thousands of views on mine, all of the three of them. Yeah. You see how long they watch for. You see what it turns into. You see if they look at you. Yeah. Even like you see very, very. And I know the other ones have it, but it's very broken down. It's crazy good. But you can't
Chinese need that data.
But you can't monetize it in Canada, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right.
And I got to figure out how to monetize things, guys.
Damn it.
We'll put Toast behind a paywall.
That's right.
We'll split it 3 ways.
I'm gonna start.
Stu Stone would have loved that.
Yeah. Stu Stone liked my TikTok the other day.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, he's there. Okay.
Yeah.
It
was either
Rob,
a
are you
TikTok.
there?
It was either a TikTok.
I've been there.
It was either my TikTok or my. It might have been my Instagram.
Yeah.
When I was talking about my DJ gig at the supermarket.
I go into TikTok a couple of times. I sign in. I've done a couple of things on there, and then I invariably am like, "Fuck this! This is stupid.
Yeah.
I just don't care."
Content's pretty good. Though,
Rob, any words before your second jam?
Nope. Just let it go.
We're gonna let it roll in.
All right.
DJ Toronto Mike.
Doesn't sound like Queen.
O'er the waters blow, windy wind so cold. Oh, the rivers flow so old. Oh, the rivers flow so fly, stately kingfisher, through the water swim, stickleback fishing. Oh, the rivers flow so oh, the rivers flow so
Rob, what the hell is this?
It's Donovan.
Donovan Bailey.
No. Donovan. This was in 1968.
Oh, Seasons of the Witch, Donovan.
Exactly. So this was on his album, The Hurdy-Gurdy Man, 1968. And apparently he wrote most of these songs after he was hanging out with the Beatles in Rishikesh, India.
You can hear the tabla.
Yeah, a little tabla, and he always had that kind of cool stuff in there. But I just love this song. Like I was sort of hard pressed to like narrow down my choices for ocean songs. Like I have a really amazing playlist of songs that didn't make the cut.
What's the name of the song?
It's called The River Song.
So do you love this song?
I do.
That's a prerequisite.
Yeah. Because I've been always a fan of Donovan and
a little sleepy. Right,
yeah.
Bobby?
Well,
a little sleepy.
It's Donovan's English, right?
Yes.
You can really.
He's Welsh. He's got that
Welsh.
He's hurdy-gurdy man, right?
Yeah, he's mellow yellow.
With the irony of what
man.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the irony of what I'm going to play these back to back. We'll talk after, anyways.
Well, I was thinking when that started out of the last thing you played, even though they weren't Bodies of Water songs, they were connected through the musicians. But there's just a lot of guitar and a lot of like wood sounds happening. You know, like there's something beautiful about the resonance of natural instruments with the Bodies of Water.
The vocals to me sound almost like a parody, though. Like,
do they?
Yeah.
Well, it's 1968. Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds almost Spinal Tappy to me.
Well, that's where Spinal Tap came from.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So that's my reference.
I find it hard to believe that's one of your 3 favorite songs about a body of water.
Oh, he's accusing
lots. But that's the thing. I couldn't narrow it down.
Accused? What are you accusing him of? Like picking one to be cool?
Well, I see. There's other stuff.
What about Cake by the Ocean by the Jonas Brothers?
It's not by the Jonas Brothers. It's by DNCE.
But
one of them's not in it.
Okay.
No, who really did that song though?
One of the Jonas Brothers.
One of the Jonas Brothers, not the Jonas. Yeah, Cake by the
Dance,
Ocean.
I think once.
Yeah,
once, right?
At least it might be a remake.
I don't know.
No, I think it's original.
And there's other songs.
Okay, so that's why you love that song only because and I wasn't there.
I like the feeling of it. I like the feeling of it's very calming and it's sort of like being
your
on
jams
a body
or your
of water.
jams,
I like it.
Rob?
No,
who am I to judge?
I don't. You find it sleepy.
It is sleepy.
Well,
but it's meditative. I prefer to call it meditative.
I'm going to start it again. Hold on.
I really like the in the background.
He was
It's like
experimenting.
the Grapes of Wrath. All the things I wasn't.
Sure. That's funny. When you played the beginning of Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, I thought it sounded like Gordon Lightfoot Sundown.
Oh yeah.
I could hear the same thing. So songs lead into others.
I can see this being like you just smoked a big fat blunt and you're chilling out and you're listening to this looking at the water.
It actually isn't better in context with the whole album. Like when you just listen through the whole thing.
I apologize for judging you, man. Who am I to fucking judge? I'm just kicking out the same grunge songs every week.
It's your show.
I take direction though. Andrew Ward will notice I'm playing more music before we talk.
That's right.
I made an adjustment.
And apparently, like they're on these recording sessions, there's no listings of who actually played, but there's rumors that it was Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones playing on this as well. So, in the days before Zeppelin.
All right, so this is a river song. Bob, any words before your river song?
Well, I'm going to do a river song, and the lead singer of this band also plays the hurdy-gurdy. So here we go.
Come on.
Yeah.
And the video features Old Mill.
Beer. Yeah. Is it the Old Mill?
Yeah.
Shout out to Great
the
Lakes.
drummer's been on. Is an FOTM. We talked about it.
Yeah.
But I recognized it right away. I have to be quiet, or Andrew Ward will be mad at me.
Turn it up. There you go. It'll go.
Headphone is cool.
Well, this has a big long intro, but
You know, I'll just tell you, this is my favorite song by this band,
I could see that. I love this song.
and the first song I ever heard from this band.
I believe that as well.
And that often happens. The first song is my favorite.
First.
That should be a theme one week for Toast. First songs you heard from a band that still is your favorite song by that band that has a lot of hits.
That's a good idea.
Sailing down the sticks again.
Is this the Doors?
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking love it.
I want to return, but then I see all my friends. They want me to join, but then they all melt away without you alone. And the river's running through my veins. Yeah, and she don't seem the same.
Love it, Bobby.
Windsor's own The Tea Party with The River from Splendor Solace.
What year is this? 93?
1993. I
It
think.
feels like 93.
I don't even,
3 or 4.
Yeah. They were one of the last bands I remember playing the Forum before it got torn down.
Wow.
They played the Forum when this album came out.
Yeah.
So the Tea Party, definitely a band at the very beginning. So they're post-grunge.
93.
Yeah, so they're kind of post-grunge. They come out, and they're very reminiscent of Zeppelin and the Doors. Jeff Martin, lead singer, always getting accused of, acting and sounding like
Jim Morrison.
Like Jim Morrison.
Yep.
I mean, he dressed like a pirate, for Christ's sake.
He did all the 80s things.
Oh,
70s things.
And the
70s
70s and the
things,
60s
I would
things.
say, yeah. And look, I think Splendor Solace was our first exposure for most of us. Our FOTM brother Bill, Neil Morrison, good friends with the band, used to play them overnight, got permission. He was he was a big proponent of this band. And musicianship, these guys are amazing.
They are good. What's the song called again?
It's called The River.
It is called The River.
Yeah.
Right.
He plays so many different instruments,
Right.
Jeff Martin.
Yeah.
When you see them live, and they have this wall of sound, and it's just the three of them. It's Stuart on drums and Jeff on the he's
Jeff
either on
Burrows.
bass. Jeff Burrows. No, sorry,
Oh.
Jeff Burrows on drums.
Yeah.
Stuart is either on keys or on bass. But
it harkens back to that feeling in the 60s of just like jamming, which comes back to like Donovan as well, because Donovan laid down those grooves that were very meditative, and they were like drones that just went on and
they
on.
have a lot of those kind of tracks
Yeah.
on all their albums.
Yeah.
In 1997, when Transmission came out, I could still remember, like they got quite electrical. They were using the same director for their videos as Marilyn Manson. I've always been a fan of this band.
Yeah.
I've never not liked them.
Cool.
I know he has a great reputation for taking himself far too seriously, but he's gotten better as he's gotten older.
Yeah, I agree.
He's in on the joke now
Yeah.
because he used to call himself the Captain, and he's got his own Twitter account now called the Captain.
Does he really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I've had the opportunity.
Lives in Australia, by the
Wow.
way.
He lives mostly in Australia and
Really?
Ireland, actually. So, he's an interesting guy. My mind blow's not really a mind blow. It's a song. So he has a solo album, Jeff Martin, called "The Exile and the Kingdom."
Wow.
And and I thought the FOTMs would appreciate the story because I got invited to go hear the album in advance at some private house in Forest Hill.
Oh, cool.
With Eric Alper and Martin Streak.
Wow.
Yeah. So and
wait, just the three of you?
No. There was it was a party. It was a party. There was a bunch of people.
I envision the three of you collect. It's like, oh, this is the Toronto's Oracle.
Yeah. It was a party,
Willette.
but he literally played in the kitchen. It was a kitchen party, and there was like maybe 50 people there.
Wow.
And the album, I got to interview. So we were at Mix 99.9 at the time, the Humble and Fred show, and we didn't play any Tea Party, and we didn't play any of those Jeff Martin. But Eric still brought Jeff to the Humble and Fred show, and I interviewed him.
Wow.
And then I interviewed him when I was at 94.9 The Rock in the lobby of the Danforth Music Hall, and I'm just a big fan.
Yeah.
But if you want to play a little bit of the song from the
Okay, Jeff's gonna take us home though. Okay. So
It's like a 6-minute song.
I love this part.
Yeah. So this is the solo track.
Wow.
And I want to tell this story because when Laura and I first started dating, my now wife, she loved the Tea Party. Like Jeff Martin was like, she had a huge crush on Jeff Martin.
He's hot.
And so we're at this party with Martin Streak. We go with Martin Streak and Eric Alper and all these and a bunch of other people. And he plays the song. Yeah. He plays a bunch of songs in the kitchen, and we're just like
He
right
was just
there
in the kitchen playing.
Yeah, he had a 3-piece band.
Yeah.
But he's
wow.
He's got like a tabla. He's got like a mandolin. He's got like everything. He's playing all this stuff, and it was amazing. On all acoustic, all just and it was amazing. And so we're going to and it's open bar. Everybody's feeling no pain, and we're going to leave. And I'm talking to Eric Alper in the hallway, and the music's playing in the background of this thing, and Eric Alper is like, you got to say hi to Jeff. I'm like, yeah, I just interviewed him. Yes, that's okay. And I look over, and there's Jeff Martin singing into my soon-to-be wife's ear. He's like, yeah, because she'd been to Ireland, and he was talking about Ireland, and he's like, ooh, singing into my. I was like, dude, I'm right here.
Wow.
But I was like,
He doesn't give a fuck if you're right there.
He did not give a fuck.
Wow.
And anyway, and we walked out. I'm like. So he said goodbye, gave her a big hug, gave me a hug, all this whole thing. And we walk out, and I just turned around, I'm like, well, she's like, shut up! I don't even want to hear from you. Just let me enjoy this moment.
Oh, wow.
And then I married her.
That's
so,
amazing.
yeah.
And then Eric said to you, Bob, name a cover you didn't know was a cover.
Yeah, exactly. Pre-Twitter days.
Let me hear though. So this song is called Aquadust?
Yep.
Okay, let me hear a bit of this.
It's not a bad album, actually. This is a solo album.
My love have always understood my soul, so let's go.
Sounds like Donovan.
And also a little. Who did you like first? Pearl Jam or Tea Party? Pearl Jam first.
Pearl Jam first.
Yeah. But I hear in Tea Party.
Well, Pearl Jam's 91.
Yeah, that's right. But there's a
This is
little
93.
something in Tea Party that.
Well, this is actually like 2000 and something.
Is it
No, I
really?
meant the
Yeah.
the river. I
Yeah,
meant
yeah,
the
yeah.
river. The river's 93. I never heard this before. I got to be honest. Okay, so I got to shout out Michael Lang because he was with me when I was at the history.
Oh, yeah.
The history? No, just history.
Just history. Don't be the history. Don't be that guy.
And it's funny because the band that opened for Tea Party that night was Moist, and I always think of those two bands together. They would take
for sure.
turns at Edgefest.
Yeah.
Well, so it's funny. I had Mike Turner of Our Lady Peace on my podcast.
Your first
He was
episode.
my very first episode.
Wow.
And Mike Turner told me, so the 97 Edgefest was when Clumsy came out, and that was the first year that Our Lady Peace closed and Tea Party didn't. Tea Party had closed Edgefest. That was the year that they overtook.
Wow.
Because that was the first year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice. And that was my wife and I's first date.
Wow.
Yep.
Have you had any Moists on the show, Mike?
I'm moist right now listening to Jeff Martin. Are you kidding me right now? No Moist, but I would like David Usher to come on.
When I was when I was running Big FM, the lead guitarist for Moist, who's been in and out of the band, he emailed me.
Yeah.
Because he lives in Kingston now and does construction.
Oh, cool.
And he's like, hey, man, how come you don't play any Moist?
Oh.
And I was like, okay, I will. And I put a bunch of Moist in.
Well,
I played Moist for Biff Naked last week.
Oh, nice.
Because she's in the video for
that's right. I heard
Silver.
Yeah.
And I think about that song whenever Canada finishes second, gets a silver. I think, we are silver.
Right.
I think
I knew the bass player, Jeff Pierce, when I moved.
Oh, it's Jeff Pierce, the bass player.
Jeff,
Sorry.
the bass player.
Jeff,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, that's
Everyone's
amazing.
named Jeff in this story. Jeff
Yeah,
Burrows,
Yeah,
Jeff
that's right.
Martin.
No, it's Jeff Pierce.
I moved
He's a
when
guy.
When I came to Toronto in 2000 to do Mamma Mia at the Royal Alex, I moved into an apartment, and I moved into an apartment that Jeff had just moved out of, and he moved down the hall.
Jeff
Pierce, yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he really is.
He was really. It was interesting because that's when I still had the ability to add music at the radio station, and I added a couple. I added Push and Silver. Like
Push is still my favorite.
Push, Silver, and
for
Resurrection, all good songs.
Yeah.
I was able to add those off the official playlist,
Wow.
and and he was so happy. He's like, dude, I can't believe you actually did it.
Ah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Rob, you've been working with Broadway and all this jazz.
Yeah.
I was curious, and I think you've told me in the past, but I'm thinking of the great Jeffs, okay? There's some great fucking Jeffs in this world. Shout out to the Jeffs. We've just named a bunch. But what about Jeff, who took his hat off on today's special and then became a
Jeff
mannequin?
Hislop.
Yes.
Yeah,
you worked with him,
I
right?
worked with Jeff. Yeah. He was our Phantom when we did the Canadian tour in 1991.
Yeah.
I'm just setting you up for your greatest
you were?
hits.
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah. Jeff was amazing. And I'm sure I mentioned to you that he was in Jesus Christ Superstar in the film, right? I sent you that clip. Yeah.
Yes. He was
Dancing
dancing
in the
in the
film.
background in like 72.
71.
71.
Yeah, with Norman Jewison
Crazy.
directed that
Okay,
film.
shout out to Sam Crenshaw, who was playing solitaire when he should have been watching the fucking store. You're the all-night watchman here. Do your job, for goodness sakes.
And we did Counting Flowers on the wall last week with
Smoking cigarettes
and playing solitaire with the deck of 51.
And
Just a place.
I mean, around the corner, you'll see the Pulp Fiction picture. I've been thinking in my head of possibly getting a couple of fellow super fans like you, Bob, and doing a deep dive.
I'd love to do it.
A deep fucking, I don't care if it's 6 hours.
Oh, I could
Move
talk
over,
forever.
school's out. Okay, sorry, Cam Gordon.
Pulp Fiction deep dive?
The adults
Really?
have arrived. A Pulp Fiction deep
do it before
deep
the end of the year.
From
It's
a
the
Canadian
30th
perspective.
anniversary.
Wow.
I'm thinking about it right now.
94.
Okay, oh my
94.
goodness. Okay, so thank you to Jeff Martin, not an FOTM. He actually said no. He got an invitation in front of me. He said no, but Jeff Burrows said yes.
Jeff Burrows, yeah.
Jeff
He was
Burrows,
great.
great guy.
Yep.
He used to work with Craig Venn. Also
What?
FOTM. They had a morning show in Kingston Radio.
Oh, wow.
Together.
Did they?
Yes, they
Before,
did.
Lucky took over? Is
No,
this
it was
a-
in. No, it was. Sorry, it was in Windsor.
in
Windsor. Sorry, I
Windsor. My
said Kingston. No, in
apologies.
Windsor. When
he's
right
in
after.
Oshawa now anyway.
Yeah, right after. After Craig left the Derringer show, he ended up in Windsor.
Whatever happened to that Derringer guy? Any
I'm
word?
not sure. I know it's one of my most listened to episodes.
I have a story.
It's one of my
yeah.
most listened to episodes of my podcast.
Because they want to know if you ask the hard-hitting questions.
Which I didn't.
And they leave it and say, oh,
Yeah.
softball interview.
I
What's
softballed
going on
it.
here?
I didn't totally
I have an
softball
update, but
it.
I don't know if I should put it in public, but a great source, there's been a Derringer spotting.
Oh.
Okay, so I will share it afterwards. And
In
you
the
can
real
tell
world?
me. In the real, what other, in a dream?
I don't know.
Yeah, I had a dream. An awesome dream.
I was doing my improv class and somebody wanted to do something. They wanted to make a Jian Ghomeshi reference.
Yeah.
And it was amazing how many people didn't know him at all.
Oh, wow.
Like, again,
Wow.
when I'll tell you this, like what I'm learning right now, because I've been DJing. Well, by the way, so all Saturday nights in September, I will be at the supermarket playing music for the kids. Top
Which one?
40
The No Frills Near Me or Sobeys?
Yeah, there you go. That's the old dad joke. A supermarket in Kensington Market, very cool venue, and I've done the last 2 weeks there on Saturdays, and I'm going back in September. They want me to be their house DJ on Saturdays, playing top 40 and retro. And learning real fast what retro means to these kids today, because it's a young bar, man. There's like
Arcade Fire.
I couldn't even get away with an Arcade Fire song.
Adele is practically retro.
Adele is practically. So here's the end. Yeah,
Rihanna. Is Rihanna?
Rihanna. So Rihanna. So I dropped just to see how it would go. I dropped "Just a Girl" by No Doubt because it was all like 80% women. By the way, if you're a single young man, go to the supermarket. It is 80% girls, and it was. Just a Girl went over well, and then I really pushed it, and I played Girls by the Beastie Boys, and they didn't know it. They went boom, 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 and they looked.
But can you explain more? Like, what are we talking about? Early 20s, these people?
They're like 19, dude.
wow.
Like,
They're kids. They're
and
kids.
they come up to me. I've never had this before.
Yeah, but we knew Led Zeppelin.
But
yeah,
but we
same
also
age.
had to because that's all we did. Nothing was on demand. We'll go back to that argument again. But I will say this: they're the most polite requesters I've ever had in my life. Mostly probably because I look like their dad. So I'm playing music and they're like, "Hey, I'm really sorry to bother you, but do you accept requests?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And they're like, they request. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play that. Don't worry." And they're like, "Oh, thank God. We were so nervous. You look so intimidating."
Oh, geez.
And I was like,
You
"No,
do look intimidating.
why? I look
thinking that
old."
waiting for Rob outside. Okay, I can see it now. Like,
sorry,
we want a really old track. Hope you have this. Can I hear White Stripes?
Right.
Oh yeah, no. The old is old to them is the Killers.
The
Like forget it.
Strokes.
The Killers.
Yeah.
Mr. Brightside is their Blister in the Sun. Like Blister in the Sun was our like retro track in the 90s.
Right.
The Killers.
What the hell's Blister in the Sun?
You're joking, right? It's
No,
about
I'm not.
masturbation.
The Violent Femmes?
I don't really know it. I mean, I know
When
the Violent
I could
Femmes.
walk in, I
Shoot,
strung
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
up
Oh,
and
okay. I never know the name. Yeah,
Grosse Pointe Blank.
I'm as high as a kite.
It's
I
crazy.
just
But that
might
being
stop to
all
check.
of that being said, for the FOTMs, I'm asking very politely if you do want to go out in September on Friday, September 6th after Labor Day. I'm at Ground Control. Me and DJ Shannon, DJ Michael X, all of these Toronto alternative DJs from the 90s and 2000s. We're all doing an hour-long set with CDs. It's an old school CD set, and it's no cover, and the bar is cool. If you've never been to Ground Control, DJ Lazarus,
It's Lazarus'
Lazarus's place. Come out on Friday, September 6th. There's no cover. You can just get in. It's a lot of fun.
Wow.
I'm reeling at Rob Preuss not knowing the Violent Femmes.
No, I know that. I just never know the name of songs sometimes. If I hear them, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know that.
So that song, by the way, fun fact, that song was also played at my wedding, Blister in the Sun.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, mine too. Fun fact, Jeremy Hopkins just said that he thought Moist was overplayed in Toronto radio during the 90s, and he's probably right.
Yeah.
And he's probably right.
Push just a little, but still great
We
job.
played the
Okay.
shit out of that.
Yeah.
And was it Believe Me? That
The
one also
Resurrection.
has Biff naked in it
Yeah.
too. Okay, let's kick out my second jam.
Yes.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
We're gonna keep it CanCon. I've noticed we're on a CanCon run here. So
Oh, yeah, mine too.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah. Is this another river? How many rivers? Is a river a body of water, technically?
Yes.
I think so.
100%.
It's coming on Christmas. They're cutting down trees. They're putting up reindeer and singing songs of joy and peace. Oh, I wish I had a river I could skate away on. But it don't snow here. It stays pretty green. I'm gonna make a lot of money, then I'm gonna quit this crazy scene. I wish I had a river I could skate away on. I wish I had a river so long I would teach my feet to fly. Oh, I wish I had a skate away on. I made my baby cry.
Earlier I said we won't hear a song better than Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, and I'm changing my mind. Okay, this song is the best song we're gonna hear today. This song's fucking incredible. River by Joni Mitchell.
3 rivers in a row. Trois Rivières.
It's French, man. It's French.
Amazing.
Every time I hear the song, I'm most amazed by her piano playing, actually, as a musician. And it's the simplicity and the originality of what she does. Like even at this moment, I'm listening thinking, I can sort of see what she's playing, but I'm like, it's so cool.
Can you hear? Like, so I had a friend of mine who I used to work with, and he played piano kind of like on his own, and there were certain piano players he never liked.
Yeah.
Like he didn't like the way Chantal Kreviazuk played the piano.
Okay.
He said she pounded too hard and stuff. Do you hear that when you're listening to pop music?
Sometimes. Yeah,
like, do you hear
sometimes.
like they're playing the notes right?
Yeah.
But there's something about the way they're playing it just doesn't feel correct to you.
Sometimes.
Yeah?
Sometimes
Are there?
sometimes I get that effect more looking at a person playing than listening.
Oh, okay, yeah,
which is
yeah.
interesting.
Which will train your brain is tricking you.
I'm
'cause,
watching
yeah.
what they're doing. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Yeah.
Well, interesting. I'm just curious because I don't hear that. I'm not good enough to hear the difference between the nuance of somebody who's they're technically adept to play.
But that's why I listen to Joni, and
That's what I mean
wonder
when I
if it would
asked you.
feel different if I watched her.
Right.
But it's just the way she's playing is just so
Yeah,
original,
cool.
and beautiful. Yeah.
Putting up reindeer, singing songs of joy and peace. I wish I had a river I could skate away on.
Jesus. Okay. I played
Jingle
this
bells, jingle bells. Listen.
Yeah.
at the beginning too.
Right here.
Yep.
A lot of jingle bells. in
More
this.
jingle bells. Yeah. But she changes the key. It's just so cool.
There it is. Yeah.
One more.
when Hayden dropped by, I played some of this song because it's the spiritual inspiration for Skates on As Bad As They Seem. Skates, where he talks about skating, waiting for winter, and then skating over the river there. Okay, but Joni Mitchell, River, fucking great song. It's from 1971. This is from the album Blue. She wrote it on piano.
Yeah.
You hear it a lot at Christmas time because it's got a Christmas theme, and that Jingle Bells is in there, and it is often covered, and Rolling Stone put it number 247 on their top 500 best songs of all time, the list they made in 2021. If we market correct that because she's female, it's probably a much higher. I think.
Did you ever hear Robert Downey Jr.'s version? It's actually really beautiful. I think he did it like on the Ally McBeal soundtrack or something from ages ago. Surprisingly nice.
Wow. Leah Michelle did it on Glee, and I can still remember because we did Glee FM at Proud FM.
Oh, wow.
We did a whole, we actually turned the radio station into Glee FM.
Wow.
And I can remember because that counted as CanCon. We played the hell out of that.
That's cool.
Because it's, it fills two of the maple.
Sure.
So, but Leah Michelle's version is very nice too.
Wow.
And before we go to Rob Preuss's final jam, let me just say, so I was listening to River by Joni Mitchell, and I'm like, man, what a great song. No better song about a river than this one. No Canadian could ever do a song about a river as good as this one. And then I started thinking about songs I love. And there's a lot of fucking good river songs.
Is this up on Cripple Creek? Because do creeks count? Sorry, I just think
Creek would count.
Creek would count. We could have done up on Cripple Creek.
Right?
This is not that.
No, I know it's not.
But that would count.
I was just thinking of rivers.
But speaking of Joni Mitchell, this artist and Joni Mitchell, often associated from the Yorkville scene.
Be on my side, oh, be on your side, baby. There is no reason for you to hide. It's so hard for me staying here all alone when you could be taking me for a ride. Yeah. She could drag me over the rainbow, send me away down by the river. I shot my baby down by the river.
Fucking love this song too. Down by the River by Neil Young.
Great harmonies on that too. It sounds a little bit like the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a couple years older than Joni Mitchell's River. This is from 1969. It was on Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere.
Yeah.
And if you ever heard Neil Young talk about writing this song, he talks about this day he spent in bed with a 103-degree fever. That's Fahrenheit, so it's like 39 degrees Celsius. He's got this fever. He's in bed, Topanga Canyon, and he writes 3 songs with this fever while he's in bed. He writes, you ready, Bobby? Down by the River. Shout out to Eddie Vedder. He writes Cinnamon Girl.
Wow.
Nice.
And he writes Cowgirl in the Sand.
Wow.
Fevers are good.
What a fever. You know what? Somebody kiss me. Get
I got a fever, and I could write 3 hit songs.
Right?
That's the greatest fucking fever in the history of rock and roll is that Neil Young fever. Next time I have a fever, I'm just going to write. Can't even write. I'm just going to write. Okay, so there you go. Another river song. We could have kicked out River Jams.
Yep.
Fucking
Yeah,
great.
seriously.
So, Rob, you like this song?
Love it. More guitars. It's all. Joni broke it up with the piano though.
Yeah.
But still made out of wood.
Well, this song's with Crazy Horse.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll bring it down because it's a bonus jam. Fucking love it. Any words before your final jam, Rob?
No, this was the second song. I always say no and then I go. This was the second song that came right into my head.
Why do you do that? Why do you say no and then say something?
Because I think it's inconsequential, and then I think, oh, it's still worth saying. But yeah,
Okay, so your final jam.
this was the second song that came into my head for a.
Okay, here we go. Come
Beware the bottled thoughts of angry young men. Secret compartments apartments hide all of the skeletons. Little girl wants to make a home with him, and in the middle of the shore she wonders. Don't know what she asked for. Don't know what she asked for. And all young lovers know why nightmares blind their mind's eye. Your blue bitch young and handsome, so new to your bedroom floor. You know damn well where you go.
How come I don't like it? It sounds like a song I should know.
It sounds like something that would have played early at like Velvet Underground, or it's very like Susie and the Banshees, very that early like dark rave stuff they called it. They actually it's kind of stuff you'd hear at Ground Control. Yeah.
On what date? September
6th, I believe. Yeah, we would play that for sure. It's actually that vibe for sure.
Okay, bring it back up, and we'll get to the
Bela
second chorus.
Lugosi's Dead kind of thing.
We'll go into the middle section, and we'll talk.
People dance.
All young lovers know why nightmares blind their mind's eye. Your blue bitch young and handsome, so new to your bedroom floor. You know damn well where you go.
Now there's a little instrumental break, and then there's one more vocal, and then I'll talk about it.
You're the boss, Preuss. It sounds almost like Killing Joke.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Echoing the Bunnymen.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm getting at. Yeah.
With me under these waves tonight, and be free for once in your life tonight. Your little bit's young and handsome.
If anyone on the live stream wants to guess the artist, because Bob and I have no fucking idea who this is.
You know damn well where you go.
Yeah, like just before we find out who this is, Rob, when I said Killing Joke, I think of that song, the 80s, because it sounds like Come As You Are. That whole dun, 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 dun. There's a bit of like Come As You Are vibe going on. Who is this, Rob?
Jeff Buckley. Another
Really?
Jeff. Another Jeff.
What year?
Turn it up and listen to the ending. I think ending is really cool too. That was one more chorus. This is 97. It was released in 98. It's got a good finish.
When did he record this?
96.
When did he die?
97. Came out in 98. Here's the ending.
Wow.
Come on now.
I don't think I've ever heard that song.
This was released, so he only released one album before he died.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it was Hallelujah cover.
Grace
Great.
came out 30 years ago in August 94. Died in 97. May 29th, 1997, he drowned.
Yep.
This album came out like May 26th, 1998, and this was unreleased shit that he was working on that he wasn't happy with. He wasn't finished. So the day he died, he was waiting for his bandmates to meet him in Memphis and go and
This is
start
Sketches
going to
from My Drunk
This
Sweetheart?
is from Sketches
The
from My
Drunk?
Sweetheart the Drunk. Came out in 98.
Wow.
And he Tom Verlaine from Television had produced these songs.
Sounds like television.
Yeah.
too.
And so Jeff wasn't completely happy with what they were doing. He wanted to keep working on the songs, but this was all he had, and then he died. So, and to me, the fact that he drowned in the Wolf River on the Mississippi, and his songs are about oceans and bodies of water. Like the middle of the song, he says, "Stay with me under these waves tonight," and I'm like, "Holy shit!"
What's the name of this song?
It's called "Nightmares by the Sea."
Wow.
And remind me, so Otis Redding gets in a plane crash, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Just want to keep my
Nightmares
musical
by the
depth.
Sea.
Nightmares
Wow.
by the Sea. And I've always just thought it was a really cool song. So the whole album, it's a 2-album set, and the first side is the stuff he was working with Tom Verlaine that was done in the studio. Second part is all just demos and stuff. and it's so cool.
So you were saying there's not, at first you were like, they're not going to get a better song than Sitting by the Dock of the Bay, and then you were saying we're not going to get a better song than the river. We're not going to get a cooler song than that. Like that, this is a cool song.
It's a cool song, right?
Yeah.
But this is what I loved about the songs you were playing, like the Meat Puppets and the Nirvana stuff, though. The sound of guitars when they're detuned. Like this is the thing that a lot of guys did.
Well, Neil Young, we just played as a bonus jam, which could have easily been the jam.
Yeah.
But Godfather of grunge.
Yeah.
That's that sound.
That sound. I just love it
like
so much.
My sound, man.
Yeah, that's right.
We know. Don't worry, we know.
But for me as a keyboard player, like I've just always dug
that's
those
the Tears
sounds.
Are Not Enough quote.
That's my sound, man.
Yeah, because Foster wants him in too, and he's like, that's like my sound, man.
Yeah. But I've always been like curious about the myth of Jeff Buckley and the reality of Jeff Buckley.
Right.
The fucking guy drowned. The last lyrics on his album Grace are asleep in the sand with the ocean washing.
And is there
over.
anything? There's mysterious circumstances around the drowning, right?
Well, he was
wasn't
just
he in boots or something?
He was wearing clothes and he went on. He floated.
He was
out
sitting on the wall or something, and he might have.
He was. I went to the actual place where he drowned in Mississippi, in Memphis. I was there.
Tennessee, right?
Yeah, he was in Memphis. So I was there 25 years ago. I was on tour with the Musical Cats, and we were in Memphis. I was like, I have to see where this happened. It was the Wolf River. It's called. There's an embankment, and it's like by a visitor center for the city. And he was just waiting with a friend of his for the band. They were like killing time, and they drove down to the river, and he floated out onto the water. He was like just in the river. He was like, I'm gonna just go in the water. And apparently the myth is that he was like on his floating on his back, whistling a whole lot of love or something, like a Led Zeppelin thing. And there's huge undercurrents there, and they pulled him under.
Not Sea of Love, but a Honey Dripper.
No,
because that would be ironic.
And he went under, and they found him like 4 days later.
No, fucking tragic. And he was super young, right? I was thinking Otis Redding was 26.
Yeah, Jeff was 29
when
and 30.
he died.
Yeah,
not the 27 of the.
That's right.
Not that 27 club. Both of them.
We played Kurt Cobain today.
I know. The 27 club.
How many artists today are we going to play of people who died young? That's too many. Okay. Wow, well done, Rob Preuss. I did not know that song. And I only know, by the way, if you've said, hey, name a Jeff Buckley song, all I can actually name is the cover of Hallelujah.
It's barely a cover. I will fight to this day that it's barely a cover. Everybody who's done it since Jeff is a cover.
No, I know the story. What about the guy from the Velvet Underground?
Of course. So John Cale did it, and Jeff was inspired by John Cale. But everybody since Jeff Buckley is a cover, and I dismiss all of them.
I see.
That's my words. That's my only stand.
Even the Katie Lang version.
Yeah, it's fine.
By the way, Katie Lang, according to Canada Kevin, I now remember, does a great version of The River.
Yeah.
Oh yes, hers is beautiful.
She's wonderful, Katie Lang.
No, it's true. But yeah, Jeff is the originator of Hallelujah. Thanks to John Cale. And
I need a moment to collect myself. Have we shouted everybody out? Yeah, recyclemyelectronics.ca, everybody. You got old tech, old electronics, old cables. Don't throw it in the garbage.
So much stuff. I have to do that.
You know what?
Everybody
don't throw that in the garbage, Bob.
I know.
Do you know what happens to those chemicals? They end up in our landfill.
That's right.
know.
But what should we do with it, Mike?
You got to go to recyclemyelectronics.ca. I don't know if it works in America.
If I do it, I'll make a TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Would you? And I'll never see it. Can you make TikToks and then share them on something?
Yeah, I put them on my Instagram.
Oh, I see Instagram.
But it's watermarked for TikTok when you do that.
That's fine. I don't care. Watermark the fuck out of it. I don't care. What do I care?
But
okay.
Yes.
So we're all in agreement. TikTok is for the kids, and we should be off it.
I have to be on it now that I'm playing music for the kids. Oh, can I tell you guys?
Yeah.
No. Have you heard of Chapel Roan?
Yes, big time. Okay, but it's the IndieCast. I know about Chapel. My daughter is big on Chapel.
Chapel Roan.
Yeah.
Charlie XCX.
Yeah. Her new album is amazing.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
I know her too.
Teddy Swims.
Do you know who her aunt is? Sabrina Carpenter's aunt?
Is it Karen Carpenter?
No.
John Carpenter.
Good guess.
John
These are all good
Carpenter?
guess. What if I told you it was the voice of Bart Simpson?
What?
Oh, yeah. I believe that.
Scientology's own.
No
is she a Scientologist?
Yeah, she's a Scientologist.
Oh.
Her cousin,
but I don't think
aunt?
Sabrina Carpenter's a Scientologist.
Anyhow.
Yeah, those kids, their music is
They
amazing.
are nuts for...
Is it Espresso? That was the big jam?
Espresso's the Sabrina Carpenter song. Right. But this Chapel Roan,
she's amazing.
She's a whole other... She did Lollapalooza.
Yep.
Her... So every song on that album, there's like 7 or 8 songs on the album. Yep. I played 4 of them on Saturday night.
Yeah,
and these girls were singing word for word for each one. Mm-hmm. It was... I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. No, she's amazing.
Chapel Roan.
Her NPR Tiny Desk concert is amazing too.
Yes, I just saw that too. With,
I like it when old guys talk about the new artists.
I know.
I feel like I'm talking to my daughter.
Charlie XCX, her album with the Billie Eilish feature on it.
It's really good.
And there's a Lord remix. Oh, like these girls are all over it.
But I also love it because it's like a new generation of, especially with Charlie XCX, it's like a new generation of electronic music.
I haven't seen this kind of passion for music ever in the bar scene.
There's a singer from America, Taylor Swift. There's fan. I don't know if you've heard.
You know what? To be fair,
My 8-year-old is a big Swiftie.
Yeah, her fans are pretty rabid.
I got a request for Taylor Swift for the first time last night. I didn't the first night.
Yeah.
I got lots of requests again for the artists that I mentioned, and then I got a Rihanna request.
Yeah.
I got somebody said, "Would you play Drake?" I played Drake. And then somebody asked for Vanilla Ice, Ice Baby, and I was like, "Wow, okay."
Wow.
Yeah, but enough about Tyler Campbell.
Anyhow, all right.
Come on, I still enjoy Ice Baby.
It's a great song.
And
I know.
I know every word.
I can karaoke that, no problem. I don't
What
even
do
need
you
the
think
lyrics.
of the Go Ninja Go from Secret of the Ooze, the second Teenage Mutant Ninja
I don't think
Turtles?
about it at all. Like, it doesn't cross my
What are all
mind
those words
ever.
you just said? I don't know. I don't know what those things you just said.
All right, shout out to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That first movie, which didn't have Vanilla Ice in it, I actually had a pass to a premiere. I don't remember how I got it, but I took my buddy Joe, who is Joe from T.O., who is in our WhatsApp group.
Oh, cool. Hey, Joe from T.O.
Joe from T.O., I think, is in Malta right now. Shout out to Malta. Shout out to Malta. Okay.
I like a malted
Espresso
milk.
feels so much like Soul Decisions. Ooh, it's kind of crazy. That's a Jeremy Hopkin hot take. And Canada Kev says that Katie Lang album that we're shouting out all these songs from is Songs of the 49th Parallel. If you're looking for it. And YYZ Gord, good to see you, buddy. He says, I assume, and this is your jam that you just kicked out, Rob Preuss, that it got no airplay. Like,
No.
That's why Bob and I, we wouldn't know it unless we heard the CD.
You'd have to seek it out. Yeah. That's not going to get play anyway.
No. Only if you're a fan.
Maybe, depending on what year that was that it came out, you might have heard it on like Live in Toronto on the
Yes,
Edge.
possibly.
Like George or Kim Hughes.
Probably not, though.
But maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to say maybe because they did at that time. There was still some autonomy, or at least some. You could convince the music director Neil Mann
Okay,
at the
but that's
time.
one spin.
That's it. You would. That's it. That's all you would get. Yeah.
All right, one
It's
spin.
true.
Oh my goodness, we're down to our final jams here. You've already kicked out your final jam, Rob. Great job.
Thank you.
Great. No Queen.
Coolest by far.
No Queen.
No.
Did you find any body of water jams from Queen?
I sure did. There was a song called Seaside Rendezvous that I chose not to add, and I used to play it on piano when I was 11
Any
years
river
old.
songs from Queen? I
River
feel like they would
songs?
have a good river.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But
What about Elton John?
Elton
He
John?
looks like he's good for a body
Elton
of
John
water
feels
jam
like
or two.
Billy Joel's got River of Dreams.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean,
That came to mind, but I don't love it.
No, I
So-
know. I do love it.
I
I love
Yeah.
Billy Joel, but I don't like that
That's
song.
his last big hit, right?
Yeah.
River of Dreams was his last.
His last album, actually. It's actually my favorite Billy Joel album of all time.
Have you
River
guys
of
heard the
Dreams.
new cover of "We Didn't Start the Fire"?
Nope.
By like
I have heard it, yeah.
It's by it's not All American Rejects. Who is it?
Yeah, one of those guys.
Yeah,
Really?
it's one
I
of
have
those.
heard it.
It's one of those emo pop bands.
Really? Oh, wow.
It's not horrible.
Yeah.
I hated it at first because I was like, "Oh, how dare they!"
That's a
'Cause
ringing endorsement.
What they've done
Not
is
horrible.
they've just replaced all the lyrics with stuff
they
that's happened
update
since
it?
the '80s.
Oh, shit, I gotta
since
hear
the
it.
ni- yeah.
Donald Trump assassination.
Yeah.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah. Anyways, we should kick that out sometime. for something.
COVID-19 vaccination.
Oh, no.
Donald Trump assassination.
Yeah,
we should write it.
We can write it for like last week.
Every week it's going to change.
Cajun Man. Okay. I'm just shouting at the Cajun Man. Okay. You guys ready
Fallout
for
Boy. Fallout Boy.
That would be,
Yes.
makes
Okay.
sense. Which, by the way, named after a Simpsons character.
Simpsons character, yes, of course.
That's funny.
It's not horrible. I hated it. I hated it when I heard it. And then I was like, good for them.
Good for them.
Anyway.
Kids don't know. The kids, you're right.
The kids don't get it. Okay. Are you ready for your final jam, Bob Willette?
I am. It is featured on a very popular album that is 30 years old.
Okay.
A lot of CanCon this episode.
Yeah.
You noticed?
We got a lot of water here.
Yeah.
You're right. We have a lot of fucking water.
Yeah, we do.
Fresh water, salt water.
Three oceans.
We got the Bay of Fundy. We have Great Lakes. We can throw a rock and hit a Great Lake.
Don River.
Yeah, right.
Humber
Nemaco
River.
Creek. Credit River. Humber River.
Preuss is cheating here.
Shazamming it.
He's shazamming it so he knows what it is.
Rob Preuss doesn't know this artist.
I know who it is,
He's
but
so
I don't know
American. He's so American.
I just like Shazamming so I can add it to my playlist.
Careful, too much crosstalk, we've been told.
Careful. Shut up.
I'll mute you.
More a trip than a quest.
You don't get to do that. You don't get to Shazam songs on tone.
Where to now? If I had to guess, I'm afraid to say Antarctica's next. Or chagrin was Ohio, where the unknown won't even
Sorry, not 30 years yet. 25-ish.
Good, because I have Jake Gold on line 2 here.
Yeah.
He wants a correction made. Oh, I need to correct something. So earlier I said that the Meat Puppet song that went to 47 on the Billboard Hot 100 had backup vocals from Kurt Cobain. I need to correct the record here. Kurt did not provide background vocals for that song.
Oh, he did.
Good, thank God. The estate of Kurt Cobain was on the line 2.
That's right.
I don't need basement dweller fact-checking me, okay?
So, yeah, Chagrin Falls, Ohio. It's an actual place.
Is it an actual place?
Yes.
What a great name.
Can we pause? Is a waterfall a body of water?
That's why, yeah. I didn't know a river is a body of water.
Why wouldn't a river be a body of water?
Because bodies of water to me, they're a body. They stay. One, I don't know. They're bigger.
Your rivers are traveling. The
yeah,
water is going to
so a waterfall travels.
And it falls into a body of water.
Into a body of water.
Let me just think on this. So definitely oceans, definitely lakes, bays, seas.
We need a ref call on this.
Streams, rivers. Those are all bodies of water. Is a waterfall? Because then you could kick out TLC.
Yeah, but why would I? It's supposed to be songs I like.
I seen a rainbow yesterday. That's all I meant. You seen a rainbow yesterday.
Yeah, it's fine. But
okay.
I'll
allow it until someone tells me it's not a body of water.
So I would argue that this is probably the last, maybe Music at Work, but this is the one of the last hip albums that have big hits on it.
Well, what about It's a Good Life If You Don't Weaken from In Violet Light?
I wouldn't call any of those big hits.
Well, Music at Work has definitely had
Music
big
at
hits.
Work would be the last one. This is this one had Poets though, and Bob Cajun and Fireworks. This one is like a hit after hit after hit
Those
album.
are big fucking hits.
Those are big hits.
I think I saw them on this tour.
Yeah, and
what about Vaccination Scar?
Not a hit. Not like a hit like we say hits are.
Right.
I think. And I was in radio at the time. You wouldn't even Vaccination Scar. I don't think was an 8.
I heard it a lot on 102.1 Vaccination.
I'm not familiar with that station.
102.1. It's what are the numbers? CF.
So this is
David Marsden wrote me a note and said he'd like to reschedule his visit.
Oh.
Amazing.
So this is the second last song on the album, right before Emperor Penguin. I love this album. I saw them on so many tours. If I've seen Pearl Jam 40 times, which I have, I've seen the Tragically Hip 20 times. Really? Oh yeah, wow. easily 20 times. When we talked about bodies of water, this came to mind. This was the first one that came to mind for me was Chagrin Falls, because it's not even I like it. It's just a neat little song. I don't really have any story behind it. There's not much literature out there. There's not a lot of articles about what the song's about.
Just a cool song.
Just a cool song, and I see a bunch of people on their YouTube page saying they're from Chagrin Falls.
Oh, that's cool.
Tuning in. My mind blow isn't really a mind blow, but it's a album cut that didn't make the cut, but is on the new release for the 25th anniversary or 20th anniversary. We'd have to ask Jake Gold for which one, but it was one. Unlike the new one, which I think we all universally love. This is Bumblebee, which really had no resonance at all. It's just okay.
Not as good as the other one.
Yeah,
we like very much.
Which we like from the. It's not a bad song.
No, and I like hearing Gord's voice.
Yes.
Be my little sailboat. And after you've looked into the half-lidded eyes of the wicked, almost the most you can do is roll with the waves gently kicking. Heaviness, fate disappear. Just blend into the sea.
This is a Transformer jam called Bumblebee.
Dad joke. Not getting any reaction for that one.
Nope.
Not even a courtesy check.
Nothing. No.
Jeez.
Sorry. Might as well call it Optimus Prime, and then we get something. So, anyways, whether or not a waterfall is a body of water.
Okay, well, we have a ruling in the live.
Why the fuck do they get a ruling?
Well,
Who
because
the fuck are they?
YYZ Gord says Wikipedia. He's got a link and everything.
Of
Says
course.
that a waterfall is a body of water.
There you go. Thank you. Well, then fine. Yeah, they do.
But I did say we'd allow it, right?
Yeah.
I think it's all right.
Well, there's been very little controversy on this episode, so I thought maybe. You know what? For whatever reason, even though it's not a remarkable song, it really isn't. In the catalog of Tragically Hip songs, Chagrin Falls is not, but it's always stuck out in my head.
Yeah.
Because I love the word chagrin.
Yep.
Because it looks like chargin, but you pronounce it chagrin. When you read it in a book, if you see it, with much chagrin, it looks like chargin. And I've always
Charging.
thought charging.
Yeah, that's true. Charging.
Chagrin's such a great word. Anyhow, that's why I put it in.
Chagrin.
I'm kind of glad. Remember, we don't actually talk to each other about our jams.
No.
I had mine loaded in first.
Yep.
I almost picked Sea of Love.
I wondered about that. That's what I.
That was on my
Thank you for
short
not.
list, and I was going to tie it back to the wedding song, and I was
Yeah.
going to do the whole Honey Drippers thing. I had it all mapped out in my head. But then you bring your jams. I had different jams. Bob put in his jams very recently. I feel like they came in last night.
Like, Sunday. Yeah,
Sunday
sorry.
or whatever. Okay. But I'm glad we're closing here with Bob kicking out some Tragically Hip. Maybe I'll bring this down.
Have you seen the preview for the film?
Yeah.
Preview? No, but I got like multiple at the same moment. I got like 3 or 4 different PR emails about the fact
So
that
you gotta watch the full trailer is there.
Yeah.
It's a 2-minute full trailer. It's arms hair standing up.
Well,
It
you know
looks
what?
so good.
If Jake Gold doesn't give me multiple passes to see this at TIFF, did you notice what's not on the TIFF? And Weisblatt tipped me off to this. And then I have to tell you who I met at another craft brewery last week. Somebody you know from the radio world. But multiple things going on here. One is, do you know what's not on the TIFF schedule for the fall?
Let me guess. The CFNY dog.
Yeah. So I was told by Scott Turner and Alan Cross and Ivor Hamilton that it would make its debut at TIFF in 2024. But it's not on the schedule. But this hip doc is.
Yep. It's a 4-part series that's going to be shown on Prime.
4 parts?
4 parts.
Wow.
Okay,
I
and
think it's 4 hours.
God, it looks
Well, I
good.
look forward to it. I
do
love
too.
the Tragic Hip, as you know. But do you know this? I'm going to sing a little bit of a jingle because I don't have it loaded up or anything. It's hard to find anyway. But tell me if you know this one. Don't want to be flabby anymore.
It's Jamie. Don't want to be a fat guy. Yeah, that's Jamie.
Blubbery,
That's Hamish.
blubbery, out of shape dude. Look at me. I'm a pear.
Yeah.
I met him at this
Hamish.
last week.
Jimmy
the first
Watson.
time I met him.
Jimmy Watson. Hamish.
Yeah, he listens to Toronto Mike.
He's one of the best people I've ever met in my life.
What's that jingle?
Blubbery. It was for
Look
a
at
gym.
me, I'm a
I can't-
pear.
Look at me, I'm a
Something,
pear.
yeah.
He also was Cito Gaston. Cito is upbeat. He was the voice of Mojo Radio.
What was that
Some of
ad
the-
for, though? The pair?
It was for a gym.
No way.
Some kind of a
It's a
gym.
fitness
Yeah, I
place.
don't remember what fitness
He was.
place.
So he was a creative writer with The Edge for CFNY back in the day with
Yeah.
Pete Cunio and
Right.
Hocklick and Grant, all kinds of people. Carmen, all these great writers who wrote spots and then also wrote a bunch of bits.
Wow.
And Jamie is now a full-time voice actor.
Cool.
And he is featured in so many things. He's the voice of all the pure country stations across the country.
So we're chatting it up. And he's like, he listens to Toronto Mike.
I've been asking him to come on my podcast.
Okay. It's funny you mentioned that because I said to him, I said, dude, if you came over, I would do 90 minutes on that. Don't want to be flabby. I would just do 90 minutes. And he goes, oh, and he just kind of looks like he's singing, but he goes, oh, I don't know if I'm that interesting. I said, well, I might do it. And he goes, but then he stops and he says, oh shit. He goes, I don't even know if he said shit. He said, oh, if I come on your podcast, I've already said no to like 100 people or something. So he was like, you can't just come on Toronto Mike if he's been telling the Bob Willettes of the world.
So he gives
and the
me
Humble and Freds of the world.
He gives me credit. He's like, you're very persistent. I'm like, I don't like. You don't even have to come in.
Wow.
I'm such a fan of him as a human being.
Yeah.
He's one of the nice. He would have been out there with Darren Waslick, who was the promotions
He's
director.
still buds with Freddie P.
Yeah, him. He's
they
good
travel
friends.
together.
Yeah. He was one of the reasons. If you listen to Mojo Radio when we launched Mojo Radio, he was on every piece of imaging that we did, and I worked with him. We produced a whole bunch of Humble and Fred imaging together.
Wow.
He is one of the funniest human beings I've ever met.
So cool. What's his name again?
Jamie Watson.
Jamie Watson.
He's the best.
Amazing.
So I met him for
And
the
he's
first time
still-
last week.
Yeah, sorry I had to take over, but I'm such a fan of
Well,
his.
that's why, because I just thought of it randomly when I was
He's
thinking.
such a nice guy too, and
he seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, and he's one of the guys. You know, you find out people. You know, when the chips are down, which they have been for me a few times and recently, he's always one of the first people to reach out.
Wow.
I wanted to hire him. He's the imaging voice for 94.9 The Rock now.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I wanted him for Big FM, but he's already in the market on the country station for Bell. So I wanted, because you give him a script, and the script could be, let's say the script is a B, he takes it to an A+.
That's so cool.
It's insane what he does.
Wow. I love that. Jamie wants
Don't want to be flabby anymore. And Rob's like, what the fuck is this? Look at me. I'm a pear. Okay. So let me, if you don't mind, actually, let's listen closely to this whole song if we can. Okay.
Oh, now we want to listen and not talk over a song.
I said I'm the boss around
I know.
here, Rob.
Who's the boss?
I'm the boss. Okay. Let's listen. This is my final Body of Water jam, and then I need to talk about it. And I'm glad Bob kicked out that song and that fun fact mind blow there because it sets the table nicely. Here we go.
Always stared at the lake for my entire life. But I saw something today, the love of my life. Lake has always been between the sun and me. But rather than blocking it, it brings it to me. On a silvery gold trail, sparkles and dances, with all the warmth and calm of a hand to my chest. I realize today your Lake Ontario, the love of my life, you are Willow.
That's The Lake by Gord Downey, and he recorded that song when he knew he was dying. So Gord wrote a very personal album called Introduce Yourself.
Yeah.
Y-E-R, of course.
Year.
That's how they do it in the hip world. Okay, so Gord Downey writes this song, The Lake. And I mean, I heard it while kayaking on Lake Ontario, and it struck me so different. Let me tell you, first of all, it haunts you. You hear it. And at first, I always interpreted this song as a love letter to Lake Ontario, which I live near and is part of my daily life, is seeing it as I go on bike rides. And now that I have my kayak, thanks to the wonderful FOTMs like you guys, I'm on Lake Ontario all the time, and I'm listening to the lake about Lake Ontario. He's got this line. He goes, silvery gold trout, sparkles and dances, with all the warmth and calm, loving hand to my child, I realize today you're Lake Ontario, the love of my life, you Willow. So I'm hearing it. It's like, oh, it's beautiful. It's a love letter to Lake Ontario, but fuck that. No way.
His daughter.
His daughter, right. His daughter's name is Willow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Willow. This song, it's like, and then you hear the yours. There's different ways to spell yours, right? Like, is it your, no. Yeah, Willow, he realizes today, like, you are Willow, you're Lake Ontario, you're the love of my life. It's beautiful, haunting song, The Lake by Gord Downey, a love letter to his daughter Willow.
So beautiful.
Willow Downey is a very accomplished visual artist now too. Yeah, she's got some beautiful work, and she takes commissions. She's on Instagram. I would highly recommend following her because it's not just because she has really great work, but to see her kind of develop as an artist in conjunction with having one of the most famous Canadians ever as your father. It's really interesting.
Wow.
So Introduce Yourself. This is the 6th solo album by Gord Downey. It was released posthumously, so this comes out 10 days after his death.
Right.
Arts and Crafts produced by Kevin Drew.
Kevin Drew, absolutely. Now, Downey described this album, your Introduce Yourself, as being about specific people in his life. So it's like he knows he's dying. It's his last solo album that he completed, and he's writing about people in his life. And there's the Willow song, and it's hauntingly beautiful, The Lake. And then, of course, he passes away. And at the Juno Awards, Sarah Harmer, Dallas Green, Kevin Hearn, they perform a medley of songs from Introduce Yourself, and then they perform Bob Cajun. And this album wins the Juno Award for Adult Alternative Album of the Year. And then Downey and Kevin Drew, they win Songwriter of the Year for a song called A Natural and The North. Okay, but I'm just going to throw a little bonus jam in here because you kicked out a Tragically Hip song, Bob Willette.
Yes.
And there are many Tragically Hip songs that are about bodies of water.
Yes.
But one of the greats is this one.
Oh, yeah, Lake Fever. Right.
From Music at Work, the 7th studio album by the Tragically Hip.
We can take a bit of a breather. We can skip to the practical part. We can skip to the time of neither. When we're together, even when we're apart. I'll tell you a story about the lake fever. We can skip to the coital fury. You didn't say yes or no, neither. You whispered hurry.
And this album wins a Juno Award for Best Rock Album 2001. Music at Work, which, Bob and I just had the debate of like, what's the last hip album with big monster fucking hits on it? And you're probably right. Like, I think of In Violent Light.
I love In Violent Light. It's one of my favorite, but I don't think it has monster hits. It's one of my favorite hip albums.
You might be right, Bobby.
Just saying. By the way, I have your favorite. Not your favorite. They're greatest hits. I have Introduce Yourself on vinyl. Mm-hmm. It's actually, I'm going to say, it's not an easy listen. Yeah. It's actually because he's dying.
Right.
And it's so raw and real. It's almost reminiscent of the Johnny Cash American songbook. Because Kevin Drew just really kept it really, really real.
Yep.
And it's not easy to listen to. Were you listening to it in headphones while you're kayaking?
I have to go back and listen to the whole thing. Yeah.
It's really good, but it's not a feel-good album, that's for sure.
No, it's not like the Bob Rock stuff that came out subsequently, which was recorded before. Because this is the last recording. So it's not the last release.
No, it's his last
recording.
Yes,
right.
that and Secret Path were the last two things that he did.
Right.
Well, Secret Path, a lot of that was like recorded before he was sick. Do you know this? Like, this is like a.
It was a project.
Right.
I saw him while he was sick do it though.
Wow.
I did go he played. They played at Roy Thompson. It was crazy.
The whole story. So I'm glad that we got some. I'm glad we got to hear some.
Oh, it's great.
Think of the great Canadian artists we played today. The Tea Party, for goodness sake. We played some Gord Downey, some Tragically Hip there. We played some Joni Mitchell. We played some Neil Young. We played.
And we have one of the greatest Canadian keyboardists of all time right in here with us.
Bodies of Water are us. I mean, the ocean and the bodies of water, it's nature.
We didn't even play Ocean Pearl by 5440.
Oh, shit. FOTM Jam.
There's so many extra songs that you could play.
Oh, we could,
Any thoughts on the announcement I read on LinkedIn, Elvis's website, about Erica M opening for Glass Tiger?
I saw that.
What? I did not see this.
So Erica M has been put on
Sings
LinkedIn
music?
that I don't know if it was Alan Frew gave her a call. I don't know, but somebody in the band invited her to be the opening act for Glass Tiger. So you go to see Glass Tiger. And the opening act is Eric M. I don't know.
Is she going to cover Lee Aaron or something?
Well, I don't know what she's going to do. If she's going to do like a
Spoken
word, like a one-woman
She
show.
might talk. Maybe she'll. It'll be like talking up the documentary, sort of like a version of the Much Music
299
World.
Queen Street. Well, maybe since speaking of docs that haven't been released, who knows what's going on there? Your guess is as good as mine. Are you any ideas what you want to do for the September? We did back to school jams in.
I don't know. You mentioned
Friday
songs that we heard first.
Okay.
But there's got to be some caveats to that, right?
Parameters.
Yeah, because like do they have to go on to have other hits? Because otherwise it could be just a bunch of one-hit wonders.
You can't go.
Define what a hit is.
You have to. It has to be an artist with. Well, we'll have to make it up.
Yeah, we got to figure it out.
Multiple top 40 hits.
Oh, I don't know.
Multiple top 40 hits.
Like top 40 on CFNY, top 40 on like popular, like.
Top 40 Canadian hits. You can define it as you wish. Bottom line is,
I'm gonna get yelled at.
It can't be like Nina. Like you can't say, "Oh, that 99 Red Balloons." Like,
right, because that's the
fucking
only
first
hit.
song I ever heard.
Yeah.
Still my favorite Nina song.
First
that
and
doesn't
only.
work.
Right.
It's got to be a band
No
like
Buggles,
Tea Party. Tea Party has multiple top 40 hits in this country.
Okay, so your version
and the
of top
first song
40
I heard from Tea Party is The River, and
That's
that's
your
still
favorite.
my favorite.
So like
song.
a band or an artist that you heard first with one song made you want to know more.
Well, you couldn't help it because
couldn't help
they had hits, and you are aware of hits.
Okay. I'm thinking somebody like Jewel. Like Jewel, like who will
But do you
save your
like
soul?
Jewel?
I did like when it came out.
And then, Jewel's a good. Like, so, or
Collective
say,
Soul. Collective Soul
Shine.
is a good one. Shine.
Right, that's
They've only
a great
got
one.
one
Is there
song.
anything else?
That's
You
great.
don't know who they are.
I
Don't
do.
worry
I
about
love
it.
that song, Shine, but it's the only song.
But they have
a lot of
several
hits.
other
They
hits.
do. A lot of
Oh
hits.
yeah,
Fucking lot of hits.
So that okay,
That's
I
a
get
great
it.
one. I already
Okay.
have a bunch of hits.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
can
Okay.
massage it.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
basically,
So yeah,
multiple
song.
hits, and the first song that they.
Okay.
Here's a good one. I love Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
But my favorite song is
Genie in a Bottle because that was the first
See
single.
how this works?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
But do you have to love the person like beyond? Like, or are you going to just pick somebody for the first song that you heard and then they had other hits?
Yeah, it could
see what I
be
mean?
either or.
this one doesn't. You don't have to even love the fucking song. It's simply that this remains your favorite
Your
song
favorite
by
song
the
of
artist.
song by
so
the
their
artist.
first
Multiple.
release
Yeah.
is like
Right.
if you like "Always Too Hot, Never Too Cold" by Alanis Morissette.
Beautiful.
Better than
What the hell's that?
That's her first single.
I don't know that song.
That's from her album before. Just
I don't know
kidding.
that.
How did he become a? Oh yeah, I forgot. He co-wrote "Romantic"
because he's good at what he does.
I only know the. No, I know the
You
songs.
don't even know 95. You ought to know.
No,
You
I know those songs. I don't know anything before that.
But I think I guess
I
you know
get
what?
it.
I
Wait,
like
but
it.
you didn't watch
I've
much
already-
music.
What?
You didn't watch much
Well,
music.
sure, but not.
Oh,
Too
like
Hot
for
was all over
instance,
much music.
"Lovers in
Was
a
it?
Dangerous Time," the Bare Naked Ladies cover, is the first Bare Naked Ladies song I ever heard.
Is that right?
Oh, really? See, you're blowing it now.
they
Because I
played
didn't have the yellow.
cassette,
I didn't have the yellow
but
cassette.
they played it on CFNY like
Right,
crazy.
and I was
Oh, you
a
weren't
680
listening.
kid at the time.
Okay.
So
because
if-
Yoko Ono might be somebody's first.
Right, but my first was "Lovers in a Dangerous Time,"
Okay.
and if I love that song better than any other Bare
so
Naked
now we
Ladies
got
song,
it.
All right, I got
So
it.
start
Yeah.
thinking, and
Yeah.
we'll do it. You ready, guys?
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Okay. You have a good time?
Always.
This was always.
Is
Thank
this
you
the
so
first
much.
time the crowd yelled at us in
I
the
know.
live chat? I
I know.
feel like I need to revisit
Stop
this.
talking.
Again,
Stop talking over the
Friday,
music.
September 6th, or any Saturday. Although, don't come out on the Saturdays, guys. I know who's listening. You're going to be way too old. I'm way too old to be there.
Well, they'll be asleep.
But Friday, September 6th, I'm doing a set at Ground Control. Please come out. It'll be a lot of fun.
And that brings us to the end of our 1,534th show. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky. I'm all over the place at Toronto Mike. Just go to torontomike.com if you're looking for me. Much love to all who made this possible. That's Great Lakes Brewery. That's Palma Pasta. That's recyclemyelectronics.ca. That's the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team and Ridley Funeral Home. See you all. Oh, this is interesting, guys. This is interesting. You ever heard of Nelvana?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know the founder of Nelvana is my next guest on Toronto Mike? His name is Clive A. Smith.
No way.
He sold out to Chorus, I guess, and they're fucking it up now. But Clive A. Smith, he's big on the Care Bears. He's all over the place.
Wow.
He married a voice from Care Bears, who's also on FOTM.
Which bear?
Great question.
Okay.
Melanie Melody.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I don't know what voice she did.
I remember her.
Jesus, lots to talk about with Clive A. Smith. I think that's Wednesday. See you all then.
But I like it much better going